the Ravens, it seemed like, for back in the day. Like
Yeah.
I mean, every transaction went through the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah. They probably won most of them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. In retrospect, yeah.
The Jags trade Josiah Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about giving up on a guy pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
That part of it surprised you?
Yeah, I mean, this has kind of been the status quo, though, for Urban Meyer. I mean, look no farther than Josh Allen. I mean, not Josh Allen. Hello, Josh Oliver.
Where did
Excuse
he go?
me. Yeah, Josh Oliver.
Speaking of Baltimore.
Where you see a guy in Josh Oliver who really didn't get a chance to get on the field because, well, the injury history. Josiah Scott, he had some experience, but he was getting outplayed by undrafted free agents, right? So, is it a big enough sample size? I lean towards no. And if I'm a coach, I want to see it for myself. Like, it's one thing to watch film and evaluate the talent and make a decision, but I want to see it for myself. I'd want to go through a training camp. I want to pick these guys' brains a little bit, see how they operate. Obviously, Urban Meyer doesn't give Scott the chance, and Scott goes to Philadelphia now.
Yeah, so, they get a 6th-round draft pick out of it as well, and a corner that very few people know much about, I would say.
For sure.
I mean, you know much about him?
Well, no, not at all. But real quick before Josiah Scott, exits for the final time here in Jacksonville, do you know what his nickname is?
Josiah Scott's nickname?
Correct.
No.
One of the we talked about it during Shock Your Mock 2 years ago. The Gnat.
Ah. Very good.
He's got short
arms.
arms.
That was in your Shock Your Mock research.
That was in my Shock Your Mock. Yeah, exactly. I just remember, wow, I'm not sure if Gnat is really actually a positive
I was going to say,
compliment.
do you want to be called the Gnat?
Well, because you know what?
I get it.
Yeah,
you get it.
Like
on the basketball court, if you're called the Gnat, you're the pesky guy.
Sure,
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Called the Gnat in baseball, I guess, as well. I mean, you're kind of that dirty dog kind of guy.
Yeah. I'd rather be called the dirty dog than the Gnat, but yes.
The Gnat has, I get the connotation.
Yeah.
But I don't know too many people welcome the Gnat as a.
It raised some red flags when I read that.
Listen, if you have your kids, you call one of them a Gnat, then, hey, kid, look out. They probably don't like you much.
No. Probably trading some new parents or something. But yeah, I agree with you there.
So anyway, there's a move made, but again, the Zach Ertz move to Philadelphia still has not been
but hey,
done.
Maybe the conversations could be happening now, right? All it takes is one little one, and now all of a sudden we're talking bigger stuff.
So Jamison Houston is the corner of Philly. He's, I believe, an undrafted guy, and so he comes over. But 2023 6th-round pick as well. For whatever, I mean, the Jags compile a pick. So it's a 4th-round guy from last year, though. This is what is interesting to me. I don't know really how much time we could sit here and spend and saying, wow, Josiah Scott, I can't believe they got rid of him. But Jameson Houston, this guy's going to really make a difference. Like, I mean, if you're doing that over this, well, good luck to you. I mean, I don't know how many people are going to sit there and really talk about this one for a long time. Mm-hmm. But what it says to me is kind of like what you just said. Josh Oliver gone, which is still peculiar how quickly that, and we're still talking about tight ends. Like, that didn't make sense to me. Still doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Maybe there's more internally that we don't know. Who knows? But this has a little bit of the feel of like, I'm getting my guys in here from Urban Meyer and Trent Baalke. And that's kind of the reason. And obviously they looked at tape and didn't love him. If they loved him, they would keep him. They've complimented the previous regime at times, Urban Meyer has, by saying countless occasions that there's a better group of young players here than people give credit to. Mm-hmm. There's a core of that's actually a compliment to the scouts, and I would say in a sense Doug Marrone and Dave Caldwell and those folks that helped build this roster or put the roster together. So there is actually a compliment from Urban Meyer and maybe even Trent Baalke in that respect. But I think this is one of those that you're like, all right, they just kind of getting rid of guys because they didn't have any affiliation to them, and now they want to bring in their own folks. They have a different idea. And strictly, I saw somebody tweet today just the height of their corners, and now all ranging or most ranging over 6 feet tall. Like, that it could be as simplistic as that. Like, hey, we want all corners that are going to be boom. But I kind of feel like length has become a thing across the NFL. That's not going to be just like here in Jacksonville, even at the corner position. So it could be a wide variety of reasons. This one just has the feel of a little bit like, yeah, wasn't our pick in the 4th round, so see you later. Where a lot of picks will be given the opportunity, you know? Mm-hmm. And so we've now seen Josh Oliver. Yeah, he had 2 years, but he never really had an opportunity on the field to prove himself, because of injury. Mm-hmm. Not the Jags' fault, but, kind of not really his fault either. And then you get a guy like Josiah Scott who, plays a little bit here in Jacksonville, but didn't even get year 2 in Jacksonville to see if he's grown and if he's better and if he fits and all that stuff. And it's just like, hey, I'll see you later. That was the old regime. This is a new day here in Jacksonville. It has a little bit of that feel to me, which I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you that sometimes happens, and it has that feel.
Yeah, but, is there connections with Jamison Houston? Like what? I mean, it's a height thing. So they got rid of Josiah Scott because he's too short. And
no, I mean they looked. Listen, man, you were right. You said he got outplayed a bit. They looked at tape. They're like, we don't really see a lot of upside here. I mean, that's really where it begins.
Sure.
Well, I would suspect that's where it begins. Not going to just get rid of a player, one because of height or two because he's not your draft pick. So,
no, I hear you. But at the same time, Urban Meyer was one that told us hey, there's no such thing as bad players in the NFL, just bad coaches.
That's fair.
So I mean. Well, once again, I'm not trying to make a case here for Josiah Scott. It is what it is. I'll be honest with you. When he was on the field, we weren't really talking about him that much anyway. So it's like I'm going to lose sleep about losing Josiah Scott. My point, though, is, did you really see enough to establish, he's not Jaguars material? Did you see enough from Josh Oliver to say, okay, he's not Jaguars material? Maybe it is the injury history. Maybe that's a big red flag for Urban Meyer. Maybe he wants, 100% participation at all times. He doesn't want guys getting hurt with soft tissue injuries. Maybe that's something to do with it. But I'm just wondering, with Jamison Houston, is there a connection there? Why Jamison Houston? And let's be honest here, and let's really call this like it is. This is for depth more than anything.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Because
that's why we can't get carried away with the actual names of the trade.
And as far as I'm concerned, you got a 6th round pick. Cool. All right, sounds good. But Tyson Campbell going to start over Jamison Houston. Trey Herndon probably going to start over him if he's in there. They have a lot of corners right now. C.J. Henderson, if he's healthy. Obviously, Shaq Griffin. So it's a depth play. It could be a special teams play at the end of the day. But it is what it's like. Once again, you're not going to lose sleep over this transaction.
Let me ask you this, though. This is where my mind went a little bit because this was a conversation that has been talked about recently, but it was talked about a lot last year. And when I say last year, I'm talking late December 2019, early 2020. So really early 2020, when Shad Khan made the decision to bring back Doug Marrone and Dave Caldwell. And the conversation was, they have 12 draft picks. And the critics of Dave Caldwell especially said, you're going to let Dave Caldwell pick the 12 picks? You have this bounty of picks, and you're going to have Dave Caldwell make the selections. A lot happened since then, right? Shad Khan went from saying, hey, we feel like we're closer to winning with these guys if we keep them. Then it was a complete reset with see you later, A.J. Boye, see you later, Calais Campbell, clear the cap space, bad football team, 1-15, now Urban Meyer, now Trevor Lawrence. There's a reason we're here, folks, right? And I think a lot of people are like, you know what? The last couple of years, whatever the decisions were made, I do believe people are like this. Like, hey, we got Trevor Lawrence, and for the fans that like Urban Meyer, we're in a good spot now. And we had to pay all that price we wouldn't be here if we didn't do any of those things. So there is a sunny side of this. So I understand that point of view. But to me, what went through my mind a little bit is, okay, if you're trading away 4th round picks already, if we have questions about C.J. Henderson, if we have questions about Caleb Von Chason, did Shad Khan, in a sense, push the franchise back a little bit by keeping Dave Caldwell and Doug Marrone that year when they had 12 picks that could have kind of reset the franchise and helped the franchise out. And now there's at least conversation about more and more misses on those selections. And by the way, I'm not closing the book on Henderson, not closing the book on Chason, but it wasn't the best of starts. Let's just say that. As you look back in the rear view, is that a fair criticism now to say, why did you let that regime make 12 selections in the 2020 NFL draft?
Well, if you look at it right now, that draft's great, of that class, not so good. Now we'll see. Time will tell, but not so good off the get-go. Was that a mistake? You know how I feel about it. I think that, and this is where we've differed on opinion in the past, where you thought that Shad Khan was setting this whole thing up for the next regime to come in. So it was kind of like a scratch year. I don't believe in scratch years. I believe in either you win or you lose. Like there is no setting the table for the next regime. Your job is to win football games. One could argue, based on the track record of Dave Caldwell and Doug Marrone, of what they were able to accomplish their time here in Jacksonville, that maybe they should have went in a different direction. You know, I mean, we all kind of wondered what was the sense of Doug Marrone and Dave Caldwell coming back. Now, maybe you want to use the Gardner Minshew card. Maybe it was readying this for the next regime, whatever the case may be. There was always kind of that eerie feeling like, why would you maintain them? Why would you hang on to them? Well, in maintaining them and hanging on to them, now we're seeing that draft 2020 probably could have been a little better. But once again, still young. Time will tell.
Yeah, that's true too. Like, we don't know where this is going. Everybody says the cliche is you got to wait 3 years to figure out just how good the draft class was. But I think the answer to that question probably is, if you polled people around draft time of last year, January, February, March, people have been like, no, make a change. Yeah. We want somebody else picking. We want somebody else drafting. We have 12 picks. We have 21 picks or whatever over the next 2 years. Let's make a change. But if you ask people now and you poll people now, you're like, you know what, Brent? Doesn't matter what's in the rear view. Let me show you what we got out there on that field inside Jags headquarters right now. And it's all worth it.
So let's go over this right now. C.J. Henderson. I mean, we'll see.
Not trending well.
Not trending well. Caleb Von Chason.
Not trending well.
Laviska Shenault. But now you're talking about Travis Etienne playing that slot receiver, being the gadget guy. Where does Shenault fit into that?
I still think, I will say this. From what I saw on the field, until I see him again, I'm going to say I like the pick. I think they got value out of him. I think that was a pretty good pick.
But if he's not the starting 3, starting 4 next year, where's the value?
That we'll have to see.
Okay.
Again, we'll reevaluate. I'm just telling you, after year one, how many times he touched the ball, what he did, I thought he was pretty good.
Okay. Devon Hamilton.
Yeah, I like him.
Okay.
I thought that was a good pick.
Yes. Ben Bartch.
Too early to tell, although I understand what they did. That is still someone that I'll just tell you. I don't know. Like, so I would say incomplete.
Yeah.
But I would also say, if you listen to the league and you listen to people talk about him, they do think he's going to be a good player.
But remember, too, as well, put him at guard instead of tackle. So
which
it changed
was
him out of position as well, which was different. Josiah Scott.
Be interesting to see what this regime does with him.
Correct.
In that regard.
Correct. Josiah Scott just got traded, obviously.
Bad.
Shaquille Quarterman.
Yeah, he hadn't. I love the kid, but I mean, he hasn't done anything yet.
Yep. Daniel
linebacker is a tough spot to get on the field for the Jags, to be honest. It's one of the few.
It is. It's good depth there. Daniel Thomas.
I like him, but I think the regime basically told us he's just a depth guy. He's just a guy because look what they went out and did and tried to do with safeties in the draft and in free agency.
I'm sorry.
You know, so and by the way, now we're getting to that range, right? What Daniel Thomas kind of like fifth round, sixth round. I mean,
well, let's look at it like this: Colin Johnson, we'll see. Jake Luton, you know what it is.
Yeah.
Tyler Davis, and Chris Claybooks. So 12 of those picks. How many of those picks right now are we confident are going to be starting next year?
I'll buy into
Henderson, Chason.
You mean this year coming up fall?
This upcoming season.
Yeah, Chenault's an interesting one, right? You know, how much is he going to get on the field? Bartch is definitely not getting. Hamilton, I like.
But is he starting?
Probably not with
third round pick. Yeah,
not with the
he's a third round pick. Yeah, and with Shenault, like, let's be honest here. Once again, we don't know what this offense is going to look like yet, but you have DJ Chark starting over Shenault. Marvin Jones starting over Shenault. Travis Etienne, I mean, depending how you want to use him, but if he's the gadget guy, he'll be starting over Shenault. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, if you're not a top 3 threat, like, I don't even need you listed as a starter, but you got to be in kind of like their top 3 threats.
Sure.
And I don't know if he is in that, because of Etienne. Like you said, Marvin Jones, DJ Chark. Now, I think he's right on the cusp of that.
Yeah, and then like we said, Ben Bartch, time will tell, but probably not going to be a starter this up and coming year.
I mean, listen, I will buy some stock into some of those guys from last year's draft class. Like, I don't mind it. Now, starting in this year, all that stuff, but I would buy into the stock of Devon Hamilton. I would probably buy into the stock of a guy like Ben Bartch. I might buy into the stock of a guy like I still like Laviska. I think he's going to have a very productive NFL career. I just don't know how they're going to use him.
I love Laviska Shenault, but if we're talking about Travis Etienne going in the slot and being the gadget guy, that's what Laviska Shenault.
Room on him? He could easily be on the outside looking in.
There's too many cooks in the kitchen.
In fact, there were those thoughts, and I don't believe this necessarily, but there were some people that suggested that was a view of how they look at Shenault, right?
Which is what?
That they don't favorably look at Shenault in their offense because of ETN.
Yeah. And that would be fair to assess. I just think
But I don't know, Austin. Can you get Shenault and ETN somehow on the field together, and you got two guys that you have no idea what they're going to be doing?
But then where's Chark and Marvin Jones going to go?
I just don't want to sit here and say, I tell you this, Urban Meyer and Trent Baalke, they don't believe in Shenault. They don't have a vision for him, or Schottenheimer, or
sure.
Bevel,
but
or
let's
those
be
guys.
honest.
I don't know that.
Regardless of the role that we saw last year, it's going to decrease.
It probably decreases or looks different. Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe he's lining up in the backfield and ETN's the receiver.
Yeah. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, for sure. At the end of the day, I mean, if you have a wide receiver that can squat over 500 pounds, I would try to get him the ball as much as possible in the Laviska Shenault as well.
But he is totally different from what they've been talking. Speed, right? Speed. Mm-hmm. He's physical. But what NFL coach doesn't like a physical football player? Or what football coach doesn't like a physical player?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he'll be a lot of conversation now going into the fall about Shenault. Mm-hmm. And where he fits in this offense once we kind of get a better idea of what this all looks like. So I don't think you're necessarily wrong there. Long story short, it's going to line up as a draft that I don't know if you have any studs. Like, I really don't know if you have any studs, and you had 2 top 20 picks.
Yeah.
Like, there is no sign of C.J. Henderson and K'Lavon Chaisson being studs. Mm-hmm. I mean, not in the first glance. So hopefully they're good players. Hopefully they start to blossom. It doesn't mean they can't be. I'm just telling you, it didn't show up in year number 1 on a bad football team. So, you surround them with better players, and boom, maybe they are even better. But that's what crossed my mind today when I saw the Josiah Scott trade. I was like, wow, okay. So basically that was a 4th-round pick that, 4th-round picks are looked at in the draft process as potential starting guys. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how it's viewed, that you can go pick up a starter in the 4th round if you need one. And a lot of good players come out of that 4th round, is my point. And Josiah Scott wasn't here good enough to play into year 2 until the Jags decided to get rid of him.
Yeah,
that's not a good sign, about that 2020 draft class. So we'll see where it goes from here. You did mention, it is really quiet. Are you surprised how quiet it is on, like, the Ertz front in general? After the season, it was like, hey, I kind of want out of here. Like, I'm not fitting anymore. Do you think there's been, like, there's been very few words out of Philly on this topic?
Yeah.
But, free agency passes, draft passes, Jags still almost desperate mode, it feels like, for a pass-catching tight end. And
well, keep in mind, he didn't show up to the offseason program.
Yeah. And I just don't know how much does that say, because a lot of people aren't showing up to the offseason program.
But but you'd think a brand new coach, trying to get everybody being a veteran like Zach Ertz is, that's a statement from Zach Ertz, let's be honest.
Yeah, I can't tell you that if he had been traded to the Jags that he would be here right now. I'm not convinced he would be. I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of it right now. I read a long thing on J.C. Treader again. He's really talking to these players.
Is Josh Allen here?
He is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You could probably go up and down the list. There's like
I feel like
60% of the guys are across the league, I think, are there.
But I feel like Zach Ertz is, a former captain, like, has always been respected in that Eagles locker room. Like, I don't think, like, Zach Ertz isn't not a leader. Like, I think Zach Ertz is one of the biggest leaders of that locker room. Still.
Yeah, I don't think not showing up to voluntary camp right now makes you not a leader, though. The head of the NFLPA is not showing up in Cleveland. A lot of the veterans who believe they have a very good J.C. Treader.
Okay.
And who have a lot of there's a lot of hope in Cleveland about this year.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a lot of buy-in on Stefanski.
But it's not a new coach.
It's not a new coach, but there's a lot of hope there that you'd figure more people would show up, and there's not a lot of people showing up.
All right. So regardless if Zach Ertz shows up or not, I still think he wants out of Philly is what I'm trying to get at. Like,
yeah.
I still think it's there, but I just think it's, in terms of storylines, it's not one of the bigger ones anymore.
Yeah, been very quiet.
Yeah.
On that front. And he's one of the few commodities at that position that I would consider valuable.
Sure.
Yeah, and worth maybe a pick for, no doubt about it. Hey, it is time to give away some tickets to 311 coming here in September to Daly's Place. And you can win tickets right now. Coos, you don't want to try 311 just yet?
I'd prefer.
You want to stick with 3?
3's fine.
904-362-9901. We'll work our way up this week to somehow give away 311 tickets with caller 311. or maybe 3 and 11. But it'll be caller 3 right now. And it's coming up Daly's Place on September 22nd. Tickets go on sale later this week at 10 a.m., in fact, on the 21st. So it's a win before you can buy them right here on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. 2 tickets to 311 coming up. Daly's Place in September. Give Kuz a call, 904-362-9901. Caller 3, you'll be a winner. We'll be back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny and breezy today. An isolated shower or two coming in off the ocean. Temperatures in the 70s at the beaches to the low 80s inland. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30. Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options and financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer. We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. We are into that travel, baseball, and softball season now for the kids, and with that, we need a reliable car, and we need folks that are tremendous at customer service just in case we need their help. Well, the place to go is Fields Auto Group. That's what we did. My wife loves leasing her Cadillac XT6 from Fields Cadillac, part of the Fields Auto Group. It's safe. We can trust Fields Auto Group, and hey, it's luxury for less while you're on the road. Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine are part of the Fields Auto Group family. There's also Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. It's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We've tried the loaner program, gone in for routine service, and every experience with Fields Auto Group has been first class. Whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations around Jacksonville. Just visit fieldsauto.com. Where else can you get luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the south side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish Sass with 5-star class.
For the ones standing guard. For the eagle-eyed. For the knights in shining armor. And for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Injuries on the job can cause you to lose control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. Money is not coming in and your medical bills are piling up. Our legal team is here to help. We can help you file all your workers' compensation claims to make sure you get the proper benefits you're entitled to. If you've been injured on the job, call the law offices of Anajar Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
Russell Wilson's agent, on the record, gave Shefty 4 teams Russell Wilson would like to play for. That is an important distinction in this conversation.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and watch exclusively on ESPN+.
Austin Lane.
Are we on right now or not? Like our screen? I guess we're good.
Brent Martineau.
Yeah, you got to go all the way. Yeah, we're back. Thanks for your concern.
You're welcome.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Everyone says, oh, well, now he's finally doing what he should have done 10 years ago by switching to tight end. Y'all, we were with him at the Jets. We were like, I played with they tried to switch him to tight end, and he wasn't good. Like, that's what people don't acknowledge. They're like, oh, well, they'll just use him as a Taysom Hill player. Tim ran a 4.8. Taysom Hill runs a 4.4. I mean, they're just two totally different players. Tim is a good dude, and I hope the best for him. It's laughing. It's a sideshow, and that's what it will be come training camp time. And I think it kind of undercuts and undermines a little bit of what Urban Meyer's trying to build.
I don't know who that was.
Former New York Jet.
Yep.
Oh, that was Sanchez.
Nope. I really don't think you're gonna get this one.
Oh, you'd be surprised, Kuz.
If you pull this name out, like I don't know who this is.
Kevin Mawai?
No.
Chris Hogan.
No.
Oh,
I know who Hogan is.
You don't know? Okay.
He played for Philly for a minute.
You think you know who Hogan is?
Greg McElroy.
Nope.
McElroy.
Nope. Former quarterback, right?
Bama.
Quarterback.
Bama, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
I
would've
saw
got
he had
that.
said some stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't have got it.
Shots fired, huh?
Like, yeah, it was. Didn't he work with Tebow too? Is that did he work at the SEC network with him?
I don't know.
Might have. But you know, the Tebow stuff still hasn't happened. By the way, I don't know if you read Albert Breer. Interesting stuff from John Fox on Tebow.
I didn't see this.
Fox said the thing that I thought was interesting. You know, everybody. He tried him at tight end for a couple of plays. Actually, they needed it in an emergency back when he was with Denver. And he's like, listen, he's got good hands and he can run the plays. He was smart enough to do it. He knew exactly. We didn't even practice it, but we needed it in a pinch and he knew exactly where to go. You know, so and then he obviously raved about his toughness and competitiveness and all that stuff. But what's interesting to hear from Fox is how much he does think the locker room presence and impact could have. If you read that.
I didn't read it.
And no, I'm just saying, like, if you read it in the context that it was delivered, it was kind of like he mentioned. Shoot, now I can't even remember who he mentioned, but he went from one place to another, and he said what coaches like to do is have they like to have somebody that knows their system,
okay,
and knows not just their system, their style, you know, kind of their program, and help in that locker room, kind of be that liaison of, hey, guys, I've been through this before, man. If you bust your butt here, you can get this here. You know, this will work. Like this, those kind of things. And he referenced the veteran that now escapes from my mind, but he said everywhere he went new, he brought somebody that knew it, you know? And so he said in that frame, in that context, it's not different. He's like, coaches do that. Now, you don't usually go get a guy who hasn't played in years, you know, and just played baseball.
And usually I feel like it's different if it's a starter as opposed to a backup player. Like, I don't think a third-string tight end is going to have a lot of cachet in that locker room.
It might not.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not sitting here pounding the table to say John Fox is right, and this is why Urban Meyer's doing it. I just thought it was interesting context that he brought up about the locker room and how much impact that in the early going, it could make, like, he bought into it. Fox was like, he wasn't being, he said, listen, for him to make it's a long shot. He's like, he's a competitive dude. You know, everybody's going to love him in there. But come on. I mean, he hasn't played in a long time. So he was realistic about that. Yeah. But what he did trumpet is the fact that, hey, in the locker room, the way he works, setting a tone, all those things, what's expected out of an Urban Meyer culture, Urban Meyer team, where a lot of NFL guys obviously they don't know that. Right? Could make a difference.
Did you see what Jihad Ward said about the whole Tebow thing?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. It was a tweet, right?
That's exactly, It was the video of Tebow in college where he's giving, like, the passionate speech, you know, and, like, he's getting everybody fired up. And Jihad Ward said, dog, if I see this in the locker room, I'm going to cry the whole game. And that's, like, the smiley, like, laughing emojis. Like, it's what it is. Because, once again, and you know, I feel the whole Tebow thing. It's fine. But, like, I think, and hopefully it was a great article. I'm sure it was. But, like, I think you're a little naive if you think Tim Tebow is going to come in here and, like, help the culture and just help everything out. Because, once again, like, it's one thing if you have a great story. Like, yeah, that's great. Like, I mean, you know, people are going to respect you. But you're also a third-string tight end. And, like, it doesn't come with that title. I don't want to say you don't earn respect. But, like, to me, the guys that I always followed were the guys that were, like, the Pro Bowl types. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you know, I made this argument years ago about a guy that you really respect, though, and I was actually poo-pooed about this one, too, and this was Campman. And Campman, who obviously had a resume now, right?
Of course.
But didn't do anything that year for the Jags, like production-wise.
When he was healthy? Well, yeah, but I'm saying when he was in, he had, 3 sacks against Buffalo?
Okay, but how many games did he play that year?
Okay, but like we knew... but we knew how good he was coming from Green Bay. Look at his stats from Green Bay.
I understand that.
Look at how much money he made. I mean, there's a reason why they paid him that much money. So, like, we knew he was good.
So what you're saying is he had an impact even though he wasn't on the field all the time.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I argued, by the way. Like, I was on that same page. Like, I would argue that, but, like, it doesn't matter. If you're not available, it doesn't, like, you can't help from, you know, just being around the locker room and not being on the field. And that was the argument we had back. This was some decade ago. But
we respected Campman because of his, I mean, the guy's got 58 total sacks in his career. I can't remember, like, what his biggest season was in Green Bay, but, like, this was a dude who was a 5th-round pick who wasn't expected to do anything and, you know, kind of turned the career around and became a pretty damn good player. And, like, we respected Campman because we knew when he was coming to Jacksonville what he did in Green Bay. Like, his resume spoke for itself. So us being a young defensive line all across the board is like, well, this is the guy we got to lean on because look at his resume. Look at how many sacks he's had. Look at what he does in practice. Like, this is a guy we can rally behind. When he got hurt, yeah, I mean, obviously you lose some of the leadership qualities because now you're not in the locker room every single day. You're doing rehab and all that stuff. But we still relied on Campman because, once again, like, we know what you've accomplished.
Yeah. Well, by the way, I do think there was a value there. I just remember having these conversations like, well, Brent, that's great. Like, they paid this much and the guy's not playing at all. And great, he's a good chearleader and leader.
And the guy listen, in terms of the value, absolutely not. Like, I mean, what you're paying Aaron Campman, he was hurt, you know? Like, I get it's not good value, but, like, it still meant something to us.
Yeah, well, and that was my point, by the way. Like,
when you have 16 sacks in a season, yeah, we're gonna follow you, sir. Yeah, because you know what you're doing.
Well, and so listen, so I like 10 years later to say I'm not wrong about that. Like, I still think he had an impact on that season, on the players, on the people.
Correct.
But let me ask you this: do you think Aaron Campman had an impact on every player in that locker room? No.
I mean, as a leader, well, he was a captain, so yeah.
Okay, but it sounds like he had a way bigger impact on you, a defensive end. On that side of the ball.
Okay, let's set up like this. Aaron Campman came in, and day 2 he was a captain.
Yeah.
Okay, so anytime that you come from a different team, and keep in mind, we had some veterans on the team at the time, but if you can come in to a new team from a different place and become a captain, like, literally day 2, you're affecting the whole team.
Yeah.
Like, simple as that. Now, obviously, you have a lot bigger influence on the defensive line because that's the position that you play. But as a team dynamic, like, when it's week 1 and you're walking out there for the coin toss and you've literally been in Jacksonville for a couple months, yeah, that says something about the whole team.
Yeah. So here's my point.
Okay.
I don't think Tim Tebow is going to impact every player in the locker room.
No.
Jihad Ward, okay? Yeah. Marvin Jones. Yeah. They don't need Tim Tebow.
Then who needs Tim Tebow then?
Maybe Tyler Davis needs Tim Tebow. I don't know. I'm not telling you everybody does or somebody does.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you from their perspective, from what, like, even what Fox is trying to say there, I think, from what potentially, again, we don't know until we get an explanation on this, what maybe Urban Meyer's thinking is, here's a guy that knows the program. Devon Hamilton knows the program, I would say, to some degree as well. There are other people that probably have familiarity and knowledge about Meyer. You don't need just one of them. Listen, this team is going to feed through Trevor Lawrence, and he's never played it down in the NFL.
Sure.
You know? So my point being, it takes more than one guy. Aaron Campman wasn't the only guy in that locker room. There were guys like Darryl Smith, and there were others that did it. Maurice Jones-Drew, whatever it might be. So I just wonder, again, this was more after reading what Fox's comments were, that's a coach. Now, whether they're wrong or right, coach believes that a player can help cultivate your program. And it might reach 5 or 6 guys in the locker room. It might reach 50 guys in the locker room.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a veteran guy in the locker room that's going to be like, hey, Tebow, man, I'm going to do an extra couple reps. You know,
no, for sure.
I'm not trying to say that. But I am curious to say all this new blood in Jacksonville, these young players, which are a lot of them, is there, hey, kid that goes up to 24-year-old guy goes up to Tebow, he's like, hey, well, when Meyer did this in college or whenever, what is he? I mean, is he out of his mind, or do those kind of conversations take place? And I just wonder, over these next 3-4 months, is that where they're finding the value of potentially having Tebow, as much as, hey, he might be able to catch some passes, he might be able to play special teams, you might be able to run a play here or there around him. And that's what caught my attention reading the John Fox comments. Especially.
No, I got you. I get what you're saying there. You know, he's obviously going to come in and have a big influence on everybody in that locker room. But you're saying from a positional standpoint, like a guy like you mentioned, Tyler Davis. But at the same time, if you're Tyler Davis, who are you going to rely on more? Are you going to rely on a guy like James O'Shaughnessy, who has receptions and touchdowns in games?
Yeah.
A guy like Chris Manhertz, who has a couple of years of experience in the NFL? Or a guy in Tim Tebow at the position who has never played it before, who has, I think, 0 NFL receptions, 0 NFL receiving yards? Who are you going to pick their brain more? Probably Chris Manhertz, probably James O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah, probably James O'Shaughnessy from a football standpoint, but from a culture standpoint, it might be Tebow.
Yeah, maybe.
I guess that's my point. Like, and I don't know how valuable that is. I mean, you're not going to just sign guys like that, although it kind of feels like they might just be signing the guy for that.
Sure.
right now.
You
know, if and when that happens, a little surprised it hasn't yet. Anyway, so I think the locker room dynamic of this is at one step overplayed, because, like, yeah, great, we know Tebow's a good locker room guy, right? That's, first of all, that I think it's overplayed on both ends.
Sure.
I think people say it's going to be this distraction. I don't buy it. I don't think it's going to be that distraction. They're pros. I think he blends in. I think as much as he stands out outside the building, I think he blends in internally.
Do you think in that locker room it would hurt or help more?
That's a good question.
Because let's be honest,
I'm not a believer in it hurting. So I think it could minimally help. I'm also not this huge believer that, like, wow, they need him in there to really help fortify this thing, you know? So,
well, did you watch the Travis Etienne press conference after the training camp?
Yeah.
He got a Tebow question.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow's not even here yet, and the media is asking him about Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
That would be hurting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's not helping.
I guess. I know what you're saying. I know where you're going with it. I think if they don't do something and act soon, I think they're doing it to themselves.
Correct.
From that standpoint.
Yes.
And then once he's in, well, he's the one that talks, and then
He
you're going to
answers the
have Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer answering the questions.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that's partly their role. I mean, even Trevor Lawrence, as the quarterback of a football team, he's going to be asked about everybody and everything, and social issues and inside issues, and so is Urban Meyer. I don't think ETA. Now maybe O'Shaughnessy. Get him out there. He's going to be asked, hey, what does Tebow look like?
My whole point is, you just went through your first rookie minicamp. All right, you're playing a new position, a lot of talking points, and you're answering a question about a 3rd or 4th string tight end.
Yeah, that's not on the roster.
That's not on the roster.
That's
yet.
never played tight end.
We got to call it. We see it. That could be listed as a little bit of a distraction.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's all kind of honeymoon period right now for Travis Etienne, so I can't imagine he was distracted by the question. But I understand your point. Like, I do understand your point. I mean, that's what it was like as Tebow with the backup.
Yeah.
Job.
Yep.
There's a lot of questions about Tebow, the backup. but he was on the roster.
Correct.
So, yeah, I still don't know. I don't know where this thing's headed. I don't buy the distraction stuff very much. Now, you've been in the locker room, so yeah,
Well,
I think after a while you might get tired of it and that kind of stuff. I do think more people your age now, like if you were still playing it in that locker room, I think the Marvin Joneses, and by the way, I'm not trying to say Marvin Jones is a bad teammate or anything like that. I'm just saying, if I'm a veteran guy, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I mean, come on. Like Jihad Ward, guys that have been around. I think I'm a little bit different if I'm a 22, 23, 24-year-old guy. I mean, it's not that you welcome a little bit of the circus, but all that stuff's kind of new and fun, and I don't know if it's much a distraction, at least in the early going. If it gets over the top, then it certainly could be. I don't think Tebow, if he's signed, will be a distraction to the football team. I really don't. Overall. Long term, I don't.
You think he's going to sign soon?
Yeah, I'm waiting for it. Like, I don't understand why not.
Well, and if he doesn't sign, then is that a locker room influence? Because why wouldn't...
Maybe got some feedback?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Because Tebow wants to play, obviously.
Yeah,
Urban Meyer wants him.
Well, in fairness to Urban Meyer, what at least he said in front of a microphone is, listen, we've worked them out. We've evaluated. They were impressed with this.
Yeah.
He has not once said, hey, it's trending this way. We all believe that it's trending this way based on what he hasn't said, and that is we're not interested in him.
But come on, man. You think Urban Meyer's going to go up to Tim Tebow and says, no, man, you're not welcome here? Come on, there's no way.
He has to be willing to say that if they don't feel like he's a fit, as much as he has to be willing to say in September you didn't make the team. I mean, that's on Urban Meyer. He has to be willing to be able to do that.
There's a difference between giving someone an opportunity and then cutting them from a roster at 53.
Yeah, what I don't understand is why it hasn't happened just yet, because they have a spot open, and this is phase 2. Like, they're in there. So, well, let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, why bring it in later? Bring it in now.
Yeah.
And see and get them going.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some news coming out. They're trying to cover up, and they're going to announce Tim Tebow, so it goes to the back. Yeah, I don't know what it would be.
Yeah, and somebody gets a speeding ticket. Watch out the next hour.
Yeah,
hopefully that doesn't happen.
No, you don't want that.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter update.
Happy Tuesday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Getting started with the Jaguars. They're making moves yesterday, cutting running back Raekwon Armstead, who missed the entire 2020 season because of complications related to COVID-19. And furthermore, in the Jaguars camp, Urban Meyer is commenting on how rookie running back Travis Etienne is learning the new wide receiver position.
Right now, we're focusing on the fundamentals of wide receiver play, learning the offense from wide receiver. And like I said, worst case scenario, you have a running back that's elite with receiver skills. Best case scenario, he's a legitimate dual threat guy.
Over in MLB, Braves pitcher Huskar Ynoa has to feel a little silly as well as some pain because the right-hander punched the dugout bench after a bad outing, and now he's on the disabled list with a fractured hand in the several weeks of action. Listen to Jumbo Shrimp play Norfolk tonight at 6:20 right here on ESPN 690 or ESPN690.com. The SportsCenter update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Oh boy, you have that look on your face. That grumbling Greg face. Boss asking you to do work? No, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask somebody to work at work. That's why we switched to Peak Push to Talk. Yeah, Push to Talk is back. Connect instantly to anybody, anywhere in the country. Boop. Get used to the boop. And working at work, too. It's kind of the thing we do.
Boop nationwide. Learn more at booptotalk.com.
Why can't I ever find my people? You can now when you boop. Did you say boop? And you'll beep your crew nationwide with Peak Push to Talk. Booping is back. And better than ever from Peak Push to Talk. A boop and you're instantly talking to your crew. No more texting. No more it was on silent. No more never returned calls. Nope, just boop. Boop.
Find your people with a boop at booptotalk.com.
Boop.
For the ones who get going when the going gets tough. And the ones who know we're tougher together. For the Pathfinders breaking new ground. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as fast access to experts and 24/7 customer support. Because we know you have people depending on you. So you can always depend on us. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Come on, one more rep. You got this. 10. There it is. Nice work, man. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The Big Hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. This is a legit product. The key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
No problem. You just got to send them a text. Text BEACH to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Nugenix samples are not available in stores, so text BEACH to 321-321 right now. Text BEACH to 321-321. Text BEACH to 321-321.
Summer dreams start in your new Toyota, so check out my friends over at Arlington Toyota. With over 700 new Toyotas available, a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty, 30 days to love it or exchange it, and 3 years of complimentary maintenance, why wouldn't you buy new from Arlington Toyota? Plus, you can score some great deals during the Summer Starts Here sales event going on right now. Shop in person at 10939 Atlanta Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/May for full details.
Hey, do you owe more than $25K on your car, a truck, or that toy in the driveway? Refinance your auto loan with One-to-One Financial. We'll not only lower your payments, but we'll put $200 cash in your pocket. Plus, we have the lowest loan rates in town. Make some room in your budget and put more cash in your pocket. When you refinance with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Apply today at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Koala Insulation. Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Did you know that according to the Department of Energy, heating and cooling account for almost half of the home's energy use and expense? We started our insulation business because we wanted to help people save money on those energy bills and live a healthier life.
Schedule a free evaluation today at koalainsulation.com.
Koala Insulation. Clean, knowledgeable, and trusted.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Max. I can't wake up and say, you know what, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. That's not where I am right where I want to be.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
With the COVID season and our season get cut short last year, we were #1 in the state when the season got cut short. So it's something we've been preaching for 2+ years. So the guys are really excited.
You're not going to guess that one, okay?
Yeah, don't even ask me that one.
That is Tom Lucas.
Ah, yes, of
He
course,
is the baseball coach for St. John's Country Day. And this will lead me right into the sunshine and rainbows, brought to you by A1A Solar, each and every day here in Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. And the sunshine and rainbows part of this for baseball and softball teams. This is a huge week in the area. St. John's Country Day just left today for Fort Myers. They'll play in the state Final Four for the first time in school history. And Fleming Island will do the same. They play a little later in the week. That's on Friday. And so you win tomorrow, for St. John's Country Day. You play in the state championship game the next day. Same goes for Fleming Island. You win on Friday, then you play on Saturday for a state title. And both teams, by the way, good enough to win it. Hard to tell what else is out there, but both teams really good and good enough to win it. So good luck to the Golden Eagles from Fleming Island and also the Spartans from St. John's Country Day. And in addition to that, a few softball teams in the area still alive. University Christian playing today in Clermont in the state Final Four. Same deal, win today, play tomorrow for the title. Episcopal is making a run behind Maddie Lotta, former Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690, Athlete of the Week. And they will play tomorrow in the state Final Four, and then Ridgeview, I believe, goes on Thursday. I might have that flipped around. But those 3 softball teams still alive locally. So good luck to all the high school baseball and softball teams playing in the state Final Four. And I did leave out Bowles and Ponte Vedra. They are actually playing in their regional finals tomorrow. And then if they win, they'll make it to the state Final Four. So a lot of good baseball and softball around here, and teams are still alive. So a lot of sunshine and rainbows for them. Hey, you need a good paying job with flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. How about this? $70,000. That's a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make 6 figures. Leads provided to you as well, plus health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville a couple years ago, was the veteran-owned business of the year. So be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Visit A1ASolar.com. That's A1ASolar.com. And A1A Solar, the official sponsor of Sunshine and Rainbows. Brett Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos here on a Tuesday of Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Coos, you didn't use the toaster yet. You did buy bread.
I bought bread and I brought some tomatoes in.
Here, tell him, Coos. Yeah, I already had this conversation with him.
I'm going to do a tomato and bread, or a tomato and toast.
Hey, tomato and bread sandwich. And you got pickles too, don't you?
Yeah, dill pickle as well, yeah.
Dill pickle. Sliced or yeah, it's got to be sliced.
They weren't sliced. I sliced them.
So like the, like the cucumber.
Yeah.
They're not like sliced pickles.
No, but I sliced them, so
how
they are
thin
sliced.
But how thin
not
you slice
thin,
it?
Not
yeah,
thin.
see, and that's going to make me upset.
Really?
I love pickles.
I love
me too.
You big pickle?
Yeah. But when you put them on a sandwich, slice them thin. Yeah, you can't put the nubs on.
Well, no, I took the nubs off, like not the side. I didn't slice it like that. I sliced it long ways.
Oh, okay. That's better then.
Yeah.
See, I'm thinking like you made like relish or something. Like
no,
you made
no.
Okay.
Like,
Welcome back.
I used to eat these sandwiches a lot when I was in high school, but I would put mayo on it. I don't really want to do the mayo part, so now it's just a little more dry.
So we're going with the toast, tomato, and pickle sandwich?
Yes.
Essentially
It's kind of yeah.
I mean, put some bacon.
I don't. Well, yeah, but I didn't want to make bacon.
Tofu.
So that's a TTP.
Toast tomato. Yeah, a
toast
TTP.
tomato.
It's not a BLT. It's a TTP.
It's a TTP.
It sounds like something like Dick Vitale would have. It's a TTP, baby.
Primetime player, baby. I like it. Oh man! So that's gonna be the first thing you make on it.
Listen.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we're trying the new toaster out.
We
can't do it in studio apparently because they're afraid we'll burn the place down.
You gonna toast the
I can't believe we even asked. We should have locked the door and just done it.
I'm gonna toast.
Beg for forgiveness.
We still can just lock the door and do it. I feel like.
Yeah, but now if something goes wrong, then we are in trouble because before if something went wrong, we could have
nothing to me. What are you
by
gonna do?
rule,
he has an
mine's
office.
about
They
to
can't
run
touch
out,
you.
By rule, are you a ask for permission or beg for forgiveness kind of person?
Neither, man. I just say deal with it. It is what it is.
Well, yeah, but you've never worked in like corporate.
I'm very
America.
much
I worked in places I hadn't had to beg for forgiveness.
Come on, really, hey, you do something wrong in the building. Hey, Skip.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
You have to go to HR ever? In the building?
I didn't know what that was,
NFL?
man.
No,
man.
I'm a big ask for forgiveness usually because I think they're great ideas and they'll get shot down.
No, because nobody ever wants to take a chance.
Yeah.
That you have to ask questions to.
This
I
toaster,
don't blame them, by the way. I wouldn't allow you to take a chance either.
Listen,
true.
But
Trevor,
I'm begging for forgiveness.
I promise you,
every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Trevor's toaster's not catching on fire. This thing doesn't do that.
No way.
Oh, heck no. Are you kidding me? Come on now.
That thing probably has its own extinguisher just in case.
It should extinguish itself, really. If it catches on fire, it should extinguish itself.
I just kind of hope it sends me a text when it's done, like, hey, your toast is ready.
That's toast, tomato, and pickles for you. Coming up, we go back to some more football and some NBA talk as well. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
All right, boss, that's the last house on the block.
So what's the tally?
Let's see, 11 houses have Safe Touch security signs.
Okay, Safe Touch means we cross them off our list. What else?
6 houses with no security system signs, 1 with a ding-dong doorbell camera sign.
Ha, laughable.
Yeah, and 4 houses have big blue alarm signs.
Big blue alarm. You know, I still can't get over the fact that you can go online and buy one of their alarm signs for $25.
Wait, so you're saying there's a good chance that those big blue signs we saw are fake?
Well, not all of them. I'm sure some of them have actual alarm systems.
Huh. Well, one thing's for sure. When we see a Safe Touch sign, we know it's the real deal.
And that's just another reason we stick to the Crooks Arrest golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Is that on a bumper sticker yet?
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
I love that sound. To me, it's a battle cry. Because when you have a plumbing emergency, what you don't want is some chuck-in-the-truck plumber treating it as just another day on the job, scheduling you for whenever suits him.
Well, let me check on that. Hey, Bobby, when are we getting back from fishing tomorrow? Yeah, about tomorrow afternoon.
And then doing turd bucket work whenever he finally shows up, if he shows up. Well, flap that, Jack. If you've got a clogged drain, a burst pipe, or a broken water heater, you want same-day service from someone who will go to war on your problem. That's what Griffith's Service does. We offer same-day service for plumbing emergencies, burst pipes, clogged drains, and water heaters. And we'll not only go to battle against your plumbing emergency, we're also waging war against mediocrity in home services. We won't just fix your problem, we'll fix it right. So for same-day service for your plumbing emergency, call
GriffinService.com.
1430-261.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble? No one likes that. We can get you set up for the warmer temps ahead. Let's start with a free battery test. If you're just in need of a charge, we can help with that too. And if it's time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination. Claim based on data from the MPD Group 2019.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
Just be confident. Just be valued. Just be totally zen. Community First makes smarter banking simple, easy, and convenient with better rates, fewer fees, and great digital tools so you can relax, confident that you're managing your money the right way, yours. Add an account today on your phone, tablet, or desktop at justbeyourself.com. That's justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union. Just be yourself. Federally insured by NCUA.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
Where do the Knicks have to finish to get into the mix for an A-list free agent, a Booker, or somebody else?
If they make the playoffs and they show trajectory heading in the right direction, man, it's nothing like playing in a city with energy.
I mean, they're doing everything right. They're trending in the right direction. You can't say they're not.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio or streaming live on the ESPN app.
Missed tonight's game versus the Hornets. He's out 10 to 14 days due to COVID protocols. Coverage 6 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. That's followed by Celtics, Wizards, and Washington's 2 stars will lead them to a win, according to Hall of Fame inductee Chris Bosh.
When you have Russell Westbrook, you're always in any game. You match him with Bradley Beal, the ability to get 30, 35 points a game. That's pretty tough, and especially in today's league with those 2 guys handling the ball in the backcourt, you're going to be in any game, especially, like we keep saying, in this Game 7 play-in type of situation.
Beal is playing with a strained hamstring. Suns coach Monty Williams named the National Basketball Coaches Association's Coach of the Year. Stanley Cup playoffs. Penguins forward Evgeny Malkin, a game-time decision for Game 2 tonight against the Islanders. He missed the series opening win with an undisclosed injury.
Whether it's offering curbside or next-day delivery for online orders on over 160,000 parts, or getting involved in their local communities, when it comes to serving you, Napa's Motor never quits. That's Napa Know-How.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
There's a huge change, and it started with Russell Wilson, then went to Watson, and now we got Rodgers. And it appears that today's quarterbacks want to be more than quarterbacks. They're hired, at my time, they're hired to play the position, quarterback. That's what they're being paid for. That's what they're being paid to do. But these guys, they want to pick the coach, pick the players. It's an interesting dilemma.
That's an old guy.
It sounds like Brett Favre, something he would say, but it's not Brett Favre.
A former Packers GM.
Ron Wolf?
Yes.
I got the only one that we know?
Ted Thompson?
Oh, yeah, Thompson. Yeah.
Thompson.
Earlier in the show, I said, is it fair to ask after this trade, Josiah Scott traded, he was with the team for a year, fourth-round pick. Trade to the Eagles for another corner and a sixth-round pick in 2023. Hopefully we still have a show in 2023.
Right.
Is it fair to ask after the trade, did the Jaguars make a mistake allowing last regime to make 12 picks in the 2020 NFL draft? And I said earlier to you, if you asked this question last January, February, March, April, everybody would have been like, please don't let that regime make the picks. Now, I think it's a totally different feel. This was my feeling of it, that everybody's like, you know what, Brent? Whatever happened, but it ended up with this. And that's Trevor Lawrence, a toaster, and Urban Meyer. All right?
Yeah.
So, Nubs, Garrett Cole got beat up yesterday for those Yankees, by the way. Just want to let you know. He says it was all part of the plan that led us to Trevor Lawrence. See, there we go.
Yeah, it's like the God Bless the Broken Road song from Rascal Flatts.
Yeah, it's very good.
How do I know that? Because as a tradition, my junior year of high school football, the offensive linemen sang that song for our warm-ups every single game.
Every game. Or it could be Unanswered Prayers by Garth Brooks.
It could have been that, too, as well. Offensive linemen are weird dudes, man. I'm telling you.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
Teopocalypse says, even said it at the point I wish I would have moved some of the capital into the following year, meaning this year. But they were drafting for their job, so they had no interest in moving them to the future. And again, they were trying to win, obviously, and trying to do what's – I think they did have a healthy balance of win and what's good for the organization. Now, Shad Khan was involved in some way, shape, or form, so I don't think he was going to let anybody sabotage the organization. Yeah. And I believe that Doug Marrone and Dave Caldwell were trying to do what's in the best interest of the organization regardless. You guys are definitely overreacting a bit from Josiah Scott news. I think C.J. Henderson could still be a stud, I think is what he wanted to say. Chason is a bit more of a question mark, but still had some good flashes. And I definitely think Shenault has a role in this offense for a long time, just not as a gadget guy. Well, I guess define gadget, but I don't.
Define the role then.
Yeah, whether it's gadget or like Swiss Army, I want to see Laviska Shenault used on our bingo card. Like I do. That's what I want. So if he's just strictly going to be a wide receiver, I'm not saying he can't be a good wide receiver, but I kind of like the idea of being able to utilize Shenault's skill set.
Yeah, I can't state this enough. Your starting wide receiver, our wide receiver one is who? DJ Chark. Who's wide receiver number 2? Marvin Jones. Like, is that up for debate or not?
No.
Am I missing something?
No. It's 1A, 1B, really.
Okay, so then we gonna put Shenault where? In the slot? Then? Like, what's the plan with him?
I don't know.
Okay, and then if you have the ETN, I mean, we'll see. But I'm just saying, I give people, give Shenault. Okay, we can give him a chance all we want, but where are we going to put him?
I will say this: there are enough snaps to go around to satisfy both players. They don't have to be on the field every snap.
No, for sure. And it depends what kind of offense you're running. Maybe you take it 4 wide. Who knows?
Josh Collier says nothing sort of beautiful mistake. We're better now since they were so bad. There it is again, right? Jack says, absolutely not. It all led us to get in Trevor Lawrence. That's all that matters. Patrick says, no, we got Trevor. Let's see where else we got. Jack says one more time, says 100% agreed on LaVisca. Don't really understand Austin's questions about his role. I don't understand Austin either. He's capable of doing the gadget stuff, but I think he was bright future as a pure wide receiver, says Jack. He might have a bright future. They didn't draft him just to be a gadget guy. They drafted him because of his receiver skills.
He could be a 2 wide receiver all day.
Yeah. But I like the fact that he can do other things.
Okay, but once again, I can't stress this enough. He's not going to be a 2 wide receiver this year unless he beats up Marvin Jones. Will he beat up Marvin Jones?
No.
I doubt it.
Well, not with the resume. I mean, you can make the case the resume of Marvin Jones is better than DJ Chark.
Sure.
So and he should be the top guy.
Knowing how Urban Meyer runs an offense, there's going to be 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers. So then where are you going to put Chenault if ETN's in? Like, am I missing something? Are the Jaguars going to run out of shotgun with no tight end and that spread wide all year long?
Well, it is interesting. It's an interesting thought, and I know you're being a little bit, dramatic about that. I'm not saying they're going to run the entire year out of there, but there are people that suggest that you can, without a tight end, run another wide receiver in there and accomplish some of the same things. And so do they see an offense where they can utilize more of these guys, where it's a little outside of the traditional set because of their lack of talent, lack of productivity at tight end? I don't really know what you would know what that looks like more than I do probably, but I don't.
You better make sure your offensive line's in place.
My answer to that is I don't know, but keep an eye on it. Again, I don't know how traditional or what new things Urban Meyer is going to suggest and bring to the table. I'm not sitting here telling you he's going to revolutionize the NFL offensively, but I don't know what he's thinking, how much more the college game, how much more that he'll lean on from other things that he did, and how much he'll just have to do something because they don't have a lot of productivity right now in their tight end room, but they do have a lot of wide receivers that they are able to use. I mean, it's a strength of the football team, right? I mean, how are you going to get Colin Johnson on the field, right? How are you going to get Laviska Shenault on the field? How are you going to get Travis Etienne on the field?
Do it, man. Run 5 wide. Run empty quads if you want to. Let's do it. Let's get crazy. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just saying.
Well, it could happen at times, though.
Yeah, but okay. I think going forward, I think the base offense is going to feature a tight end. We agree with me or not?
Yes.
Okay. So if that's the case, and I don't know how more clear I can explain to people, if that's the case, then how many wide receivers are you going to have?
You're going to actually take out the guard.
Okay, well, there it is then. I stand corrected. No guard. I got you.
Stan the Man says, no, if the last regime was even an ounce better at picking in the draft, we would be sitting here getting ready for another season of Minshew and making us lies at how we would prosper now that we drafted Devontae Smith for him to target. Instead, we have Trevor Lawrence. I think that's all we have for now on that. But it is an interesting thought process, right? I'm telling you, and I don't think I'm wrong, is that if you go back a year and you said, I can't believe they let Dave Caldwell and this regime pick the picks, and a year later, here we are, and even though we're trading away in Jacksonville a 4th-round pick and don't really know about the draft class, everybody's like, hey, Brent, it's cool. We got Trevor.
Yeah.
It's amazing how that went. Listen, I don't know if I disagree with you. And I also would buy some stock into some of these players. You're never going to pick 12 players right. That's why I was shocked that they picked 12 to begin with last year. They should have been a little bit more in the mover-shaker business last year in that draft with all the capital that they had, in my estimation. But I'll buy stock into some of these guys, but I have major question marks around some of them too. And when you asked a great question, like, okay, well, who's starting from that draft class this year? On a 1-15 team, by the way.
Yes.
We're not talking about like a Super Bowl team coming back.
Yeah.
So that's a fair question, and that might show kind of the depth and quality of that draft class, at least through year one. It certainly shows that. NBA play-in begins tonight.
Who we got tonight? What do we got on tap?
It's the East Coast, so it's Pacers, Wizards.
What a barn! Oh, Wizards! All right.
Yeah, but the Wizards have to. Well, I know. I guess if they win the first one, they'll be fine.
Who the 76ers they don't want to see out of that group? Who are you scared of? John
I think
Wall?
honestly,
I'm not John Wall. Hello.
Yes, John Wall.
Russell Westbrook.
No, yeah,
hello.
honestly, out of that group, I think I think you worry about Westbrook and the Wizards a little bit and how hot they are for him and Bradley Beal coming at the end of the season.
So you got Hornets and Pacers tonight, Wizards and Celtics. Hornets and Pacers. Am I missing something, or I'm not that excited about it?
Pacers are sneaky.
Yeah.
Hornets are kind of in. Yep. Hornets. He already knows the Philly offense. You don't want that. No. But I think the Hornets are kind of injured. So I say best case scenario for the 76ers would be somehow the Hornets getting there. I think that would be their easiest path potentially.
Well, Wizards look very dangerous. Celtics have the ability. That's the 7th place, 8th place game. And then so obviously what happens whoever wins that game, they're into the 7th spot. And then it will be determined between the 9th and 10th winner
versus
to play the loser of that
two.
Wizards-Celtics game to determine that 8th
so
spot. So
potentially whoever loses the 9-10 match or 8 gosh, I'm going to get myself all confused. The 9-10 matchup, whoever loses that is out regardless.
Yes.
And then, potentially out of the 7-8, you might have to play twice just to stay in. And that can be obviously then you go up against the number 1 seed. And that can be
beatable.
Well, but the thing is the 1 versus the 8 seed usually is a pretty easy matchup.
Beatable game, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Here's the thing, okay? We live in a world that we don't like things that are confusing.
Well, the play-in is a little confusing.
So confused.
But to it made for the last month of basketball, which normally is kind of boring. I mean, we had the Sixers playing for the 1 seed on Saturday against Orlando. You had teams debating whether or not they should lose a game so that they can go up and match up against someone else better or get in. You had the Lakers trying to get out of the play-in tournament and not making it. And, I mean, it made some excitement.
Well, listen, and that's where I'm going with this. There's some excitement when you add more teams to the mix.
Yeah.
The NFL was better last year when you added 7 teams to the playoffs, right? It got more exciting down the stretch. More teams are in play for it. When the wild card was added, everybody's like, oh, my gosh, what are you doing to baseball?
Yeah.
It's made it so much better that so many more teams are in the mix later in the year. Absolutely. But it's kind of easy to understand. The problem right now the NBA is having is they're at this, until they do it several years in a row the same way. Like even last year in the bubble wasn't the same way as this.
Right, and the bubble was the first year they even kind of experimented with something like that.
And so but for me, radio host, to try to explain it to you in your car, what's happening, you want simple.
Yes.
Heck, I want simple to be able to explain it to you.
Yes.
It's not the easiest thing.
Even the
you
graphic
can't say
looks
it
weird.
in 3 seconds.
No, the graphic is confusing itself.
And so I think that's what's interesting about this to me. I'll say this about sports, and it sounds bad sometimes when I say this. I think part of the reason hockey isn't like on the forefront of everything sometimes, I think sometimes even tennis, is because there are so many different names across the globe that we don't know how to pronounce.
Sure.
That they're not household names. It's not easy, and we don't want to learn it. I'm not saying we in our business. I'm saying we sports fans, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be like really good to.
There are some names in basketball. It can be hard, though.
In basketball, yeah, and basketball is, all those sports are so global.
I mean, I can't even pronounce the MVP's name. That's going to win it.
Jokic.
Jokic?
It looks like Jokic, but it's Jokic.
I mean, there's so many
But
Jokic's.
LeBron wants it to be Steph Curry, which I found interesting.
Yeah. So, but my point being, like, I think we like things. We like sports. We don't want to have to work very hard for our sports. And so when we have to do that and it starts like feeling like you're in an AP class taking an exam.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you give the stars a nickname, right? Giannis is Giannis instead of having to say his whole name. Jokic is Joker. You just, it's easier to just give him a nickname and then you don't have to worry about pronouncing the last name.
Well, the other way I go with this is Kuz, like you just said, hey, it was exciting over the weekend. But you're not who I'm talking to.
Right.
I'm talking to a casual fan who has no idea Jokic is going to win the MVP. Or should. Like, they don't even know who the guy is. Now, they know who Steph Curry and LeBron James is.
Sure.
But they just, I mean, he's kind of overlooked anyway, even by the big fan of the NBA. And so are the Nuggets. But I think I don't know if this is here to stay or not. I like the concept of it. I think the more teams involved, I know people are like, well, who doesn't make the playoffs? Everybody gets a trophy. Well, I think the more teams involved mean the more excitement down the stretch, which means more cities are excited, which means there's more options to put in.
To that,
potentially more players getting in and not being left out. I think that's overall good from a fan perspective, whether it is for the old timers or not. It doesn't matter. I think it's going to trend this way.
Go ahead, Goose.
To that, it's kind of like, when the Sixers were through the process, right? Everyone was talking about tanking, and everyone talks about tanking. And yes, there were teams tanking this year. Don't get it twisted. The Rockets, the Thunder, the Pistons, they were all tanking. And there was just enough of the majority teams still playing or fighting to get into the playoffs that nobody really honed in on, hey, these guys are putting out essentially G League lineups, and they aren't winning, and it's very blatant that they aren't winning.
Yeah.
I just think, I'll be honest, I don't like it.
Yeah, you said that.
I can't stand it because I don't see the point of putting a 33-39 Hornets team possibly into the playoffs.
Sure.
Or putting a 33-39 Spurs team into the playoffs. And we're essentially giving the top 10 teams in each conference a chance. There's 15 teams per conference. And the top 10 are getting an opportunity? Just put every single team in the playoffs.
Well, and I think
just do that.
There is an argument
what
at the end that they would just want it to be a tournament instead of it being.
Well, and there you go. Why don't we don't mind that though in like March in college basketball when everybody you pick the conference tournament gets a chance.
You have to have a winning record though to get into the NCAA tournament. Usually, unless you win
your conference tournament.
When is that?
I'm talking more the conference tournaments. Like the ACC has a conference tournament. I think. Well, they might squeeze some people out. The leagues have gotten so big, so now they do squeeze some teams out of it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I still think around the country, most conferences have everybody play. Doesn't matter if you were 2 and whatever.
But that's like saying, check this out. So how many basketball teams are there in the country?
Oh, like 350 something.
Okay. So out of those 350 something, you're going to take, 200 of those teams in the tournament? 2/3?
Yeah, it's actually more for your example.
Well,
it's probably,
I suck at math, but I'm saying you're taking more than 2/3 of those teams in the tournament. That's what you're doing in the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, there's been a movement to add double the amount of teams in the NCAA tournament. Like there has been a movement for that, to 128, I think it is.
Well, then do that, and then double that again,
and double it again,
and then you get the NBA.
To that though, you guys talk about how there is so much star potential in the NBA. If you have most of the teams in, then you do get to see your star at least playing in a playoff atmosphere type game where maybe you get a Luka or a Dame Lillard amazing Hail Mary shot to win so that they can keep going on. You have more of those moments with your stars, even though your team may not be ready to make that full leap to be an actual competitor for the finals.
I think one last thought on this for me. I think the reason this will stick is for situations kind of like you just said, what you're getting at. And that is, let's just say, like last year we said Zion Williamson, this kind of helped.
Well, you're going to get Lonzo Ball. Like that, we're finally going to, Zion, although he got hurt, but to that.
Yeah, so to name your guy. Maybe it's Durant, maybe it's Curry, maybe it's LeBron, maybe it's whoever, maybe it's Kawhi Leonard. Even if you miss a lot of the season, have this devastating injury, it allows you to potentially, if you hang in there, come back, add that guy to the rotation, and then maybe make a run so it's not a lost season. So that's what at least there's a little carrot out there potentially for early season ending, or not season ending, but long injuries that really hampered your season.
And the counter to that, I guess, would be a little bit with the Lakers where LeBron got hurt and they fell just enough that now they actually could have a 1-game elimination and technically 2 for them, I think, because they get put in that group for that second match. But even so, that's why LeBron hated it so much, is he's like, well, I hurt my ankle. They sat me out, and the team wasn't essentially able to hold it together enough to stay in the 6th seed. And now here we are in the play-in tournament against Curry.
Did you see the whole Kobe Bryant when the Hall of Fame speech?
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool when he talked about how he always tried to play hurt, because he talked about the fans, where that one fan out there who saved up how much money to see him play one time.
That's a big part.
He meant that to that fan.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of that from Kobe Bryant. I get what you're saying with the injuries thing. Now, I don't know how severe these injuries are. I'm not going to question anybody's toughness or anything. But you got to think that if you didn't have the playoff tournament or whatever, and you had to win the last 3 games of the season, LeBron was going to play.
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
You were going to find a way.
He did, and he re-aggravated his ankle a little bit. And now that was the big debate. Is like, do you play LeBron because you're essentially a game or two away from being ahead of the Portland Trailblazers and out of the play-in? If you play him, you risk re-injury, but you have a better chance of potentially winning. Well, they didn't win, and LeBron James kind of tweaked his ankle again. So now it's like, now you're in this play-in against the Warriors, who are at any point just going to light it up on you because Steph Curry can go off, and LeBron James isn't 100% when you could have rested him and you would have been in this situation and potentially able to have a healthy LeBron
you're
James.
You're kind of stuck in the middle of it.
Right.
To your point and the bigger point, what the Kobe Bryant quote, I think that is so true, especially in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think we'd all be disappointed if you go to an NFL game and you went to see Trevor Lawrence and Trevor Lawrence got sick or something and couldn't play with the flu or whatever.
It happened to me for my birthday. I went to go see Darius Miles of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he sat out because of a hamstring.
So it happens. But I will tell you this:
so bummed.
I brought Ty to LeBron James when he was with Cleveland against Orlando, and it was like the day after Christmas.
Sure.
And so he had played the Christmas day
he's not playing
down in
back-to-back.
Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so we seriously wondered, because it was the second day of a back-to-back road game, if he would be playing in that game. Now, fortunately, he did. And so we were able to catch him. But but that was the only reason we went to the game. That's what happens in the NBA, especially. I think it happens in Major League Baseball. You run into that in Major League Baseball, especially like in a spring training game.
Yeah.
Actually, that's kind of where the T.J. McConnell hype from my end came from. Nicole had gotten me tickets. We were going to go see the Sixers Orlando, but it was a back-to-back, so they didn't play Embiid. It was supposed to be Embiid's first time, like me seeing him play. He didn't. So then I was just watching, and I'm like, well, the Sixers are going to lose to the Orlando Magic. And T.J. McConnell ended up hitting a buzzer beater to win the game, and that's what started the McConnell madness.
Fair.
See? That's what started
Got
it.
a little Wally Pip. I mean, T.J. McConnell, Wally Pip.
Oh, man.
Real quick, you said Dame Lillard earlier. Who's the guy? He stole the show in the bubble in like this little play-in time is when it started last year, and then carried it through. Who's going to steal the show early in this playoffs? Not late, because that team might not make an advance. Is it Ball? I mean, is it somebody that we're not paying attention to a
be
lot,
honest,
that becomes a star over the next couple weeks? Because let's be honest, Dame Lillard, if you follow hoops, he's been a great player. And so he's a really good player, and you know him. But, I mean, he took it to another level. Like, I bet he made $5 million in endorsements last year, during this time.
Yeah.
Who's that player? Is there one?
To be honest, I think I would say the best potential for it would be anybody on the Hawks or Knicks, just because they're younger teams and we haven't seen them in the playoffs recently.
You read my mind. Yeah. I'm taking Julius Randle or Trae Young.
Yeah, Julius Randle, Trae Young, maybe Collins. Somebody from
the Knicks
either
have
of those
so
teams.
much upside to gain, you'd think. And so Julius Randle makes a lot of sense.
The Knicks from it, the side argument that everyone at ESPN is making is, because the Knicks are New York, right? They use the big market thing, but they show that they can get the 4th seed with just Julius Randle. They might be able to pull a star from their team in the offseason and really make a run at it, in the coming years.
All right, let's take a time out. When we come back, speaking of stars, is Ohtani the best athlete that exists in sports right now?
And Kuz is like, who's that? Okay. Maybe there's probably a lot of people out there.
Is
like,
that even a fair question? Or is it a slam dunk question?
Yeah.
What he's doing, if you haven't heard, is unbelievable so far in the Major League Baseball season. But it begs the question, does it transcend the sport of baseball even more? We'll talk about it next. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny and breezy today with a brief shower or two every once in a while. Temperatures reach around 80 degrees, dropping into the 60s tonight. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30. Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Come on, one more rep. You got this. 10. There it is. Nice work, man. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The Big Hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. This is a legit product. The key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
No problem. You just got to send them a text. Text BEACH to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Nugenix samples are not available in stores, so text BEACH to 321-321 right now. Text BEACH to 321-321. Text BEACH to 321-321.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey folks, living in Florida, we don't really worry about the seasons except for one, hurricane season. And since your home is your most important asset, protecting your home with Rhino Shield against harsh Florida weather is good for your house and it's good for your budget. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to your house, those cracks in the walls will cost you thousands if not repaired. Rhino Shield waterproofs your home with a coating that's 13 times thicker than box store paint. It reflects 97% of harmful UV rays, has a Class A fire rating, is salt air corrosive resistant, contains the highest quality ceramics, and of course it comes in any color. Plus, with our 25-year warranty, you get a non-prorated 100% transferable warranty that guarantees against chipping, cracking, and peeling. So call 904-519-5055 or visit rhinoshieldjacks.com and protect your house and your budget.
So you'll never have to paint again. Call Rhino Shield today.
There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop. Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jules in St. Augustine at Murabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jules app and catering for all of your events. Visit WillieJules.com and visit Willie Jules at Murabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jules. Shred your goals this year with the new Metabolism Boost Banana Passion Fruit Smoothie from Smoothie King. At only 240 calories and 14 grams of protein per 20 ounces, this crave-controlling meal smoothie has non-GMO whole fruits, naturally derived caffeine, and absolutely no syrups. Or try strawberry pineapple or mango ginger. Start your healthier habit and order online at smoothieking.com. Now for pickup or delivery at any of the Jacksonville area locations. Smoothie King, rule the day. Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jewell's in St. Augustine at Mirabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jewell's app and catering for all of your events. Visit williejewels.com and visit Willie Jewell's at Mirabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jewell's.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution.
I'm Dr. Brown. 98% of patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call Prime Men's Medical Center at 904-664-8217. See results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
And I'm going to regurgitate it to you. I'm like a mother bird right now, and I'm spewing it in your mouth.
Brent Martineau.
We got doves flying and mother birds all week.
I'm trying to baby bird you right now, man.
Yeah, well, this is why I tease stuff and don't get to it.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Shohei Ohtani. He hit a home run on a pitch that was said to be 4 feet 3 inches off the ground.
Don't get in the home run derby. I know Trout doesn't want to be the face of baseball, but I don't want to see Shohei go and try and entertain and try and give the people what they want so he can be some big marketing ploy. Don't be in the home run derby and wear yourself out.
That was Bart Scott, I believe. Afternoons, right here on ESPN 690, noon to 2. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690, 3 to 6. Every day, Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos. Coos is cooking. Toastering up.
Mm-hmm. It was pretty impressive.
Don't burn the place down. But, yes, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's insane.
You haven't even taken the toaster home to your wife. I love that, by the way.
Well, I told her we needed some content out of this first.
Yeah, it's kind of like his bachelor party that never happened.
It's the bachelor party around a toaster.
We're making toast and bagels, man. That's what we're doing. Pop-Tarts.
We're watching that countdown.
If we get real crazy, we're making Pop-Tarts, too. Depends on what happens.
So the toaster, just to let everybody know, is kind of cool.
It lived up to the hype.
Brent won the endorsement. Brent really pushing for the endorsement right now.
No, we actually did say, we're like, who decided that a $300 toaster is like marketable?
But let's be honest. I mean, you probably said the same thing about a cell phone as well. Because there was a time when they're just flip phones, you played Snake on it, and that was about it. And then somebody said, hey, let's put a touch screen on it, and let's make it like $400, $500.
That's a good point.
And here we are.
And I've said, you know what I've said about the iPhone? Don't.
There's no price too high.
There isn't.
Yeah.
I would pay like a mortgage payment probably for my iPhone.
Yeah.
I use it more than anything.
For sure. I know.
And they probably know that too.
I mean, if you needed one endorsement, I feel like Apple would be the endorsement for you.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah. I feel like that would be the big get for Brent Martineau.
I do. I live on the
now, I think
iPhone and
with no disrespect to you, I feel like they don't need people to endorse their products because they're pretty,
especially me.
Pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean anybody.
But
really.
maybe they want Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
This guy's unbelievable. Back to the toaster real quick. I mean, it really was like you push 2 buttons.
Yeah.
And bam.
Boom.
Now, we haven't tried the toast yet.
Well, Brent, one would say you push 2 buttons on a regular toaster, too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you wonder. Like,
What do you mean
you wonder, is it going to come out on time?
no,
is it going to be right? No, this
I'm
one
just-
showed if
I'm
you hit
just being
this
the contrarian.
level,
No.
then it will look like this.
Yeah. Sometimes you only push one button.
Now we got to see
You
how
push-
it comes out.
You push the down button.
And I think this will save everybody from burning their fingers.
Okay.
I think. We'll see.
Well, now, fun fact: the first thing it says when you open the box, like the instructions, is don't stick any like body parts in the toaster. Like that's the first thing it tells you on the instructions. Take it for what you want.
Yeah, I don't know how that got experimented with.
Trying to cover all bases, I guess.
I guess
man.
so.
Lawsuit waiting to happen.
Shohei Ohtani leads the major leagues in home runs. He's got 13. He has a 2.10 ERA, and that's not just like in one inning pitched. I asked the question, is he the greatest athlete we have in sports right now?
Yeah.
Based on the fact that he's doing something that nobody else does. I'm not saying he's going to run the 100 meters faster. He's going to jump higher than LeBron James.
Yeah.
But he is doing something. Think about this in the context. And this is why it's a big deal, especially over the last 24 hours. Everybody's talking about it, and it should be talked about. He came here to the United States as part of Major League Baseball as a guy that could be a two-way player. Now, listen, there are two-way players in high school, youth levels. College game has really gone to it at the elite levels. Like, those guys are really good. The Major League Baseball, professional baseball, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And so he comes as a two-way player, and it's taken a little bit of an adaptation plus some injuries. But he is delivering, man, right now. I mean, 13 homers to lead the league in total bases and home runs. Here we are in May, and also a 2.10 ERA. I mean, the guy's numbers in an analytical world of baseball are off the charts. He hits it a mile. He throws it hard. All the things. Like, he's got this is not fluky. This is how he was advertised to be. And here he is delivering. And think about this. Babe Ruth is widely considered the guy when it comes to baseball. He's one of the guys when it comes to sports, and he hasn't played in 100 years.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's kind of like a mystery. He's like this fictional character.
Of course.
To anybody that's of the last 3 generations.
Yes.
Well, you can name anybody on the planet that you want to say Ohtani is like. He's not. He's like Babe Ruth. Like, he's doing things Babe Ruth did. Who in sports does something that somebody did 100 years ago? We can't find a hockey player to do what Wayne Gretzky's doing.
Yeah.
Right? We can say Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Okay, that was 25 years ago.
Would you say Westbrook with the triple-double record?
Even then, you don't go all the way back, and I think that it's a good comp, but we're not celebrating it like that, number one. And the game we know has changed so much, and we gave multiple reasons why, one being the three-point shot, So that's aided, in him. Baseball, while it's changed, and I understand there are more home runs and stuff, the game really hasn't changed that much in terms of the stats. I mean, people don't hit 65 home runs every year, right? And people aren't doing this. 100 years ago, I don't think many people were doing it, and nobody was doing it to the way Babe Ruth did it.
Yeah.
Fast forward 100 years, nobody's doing this at this level of ball at Major League Baseball, and nobody's doing it to this degree. So it's not that he's just doing it. He's excelling at it. And I did pick him to be my MVP of this year, and I think it might be working so far.
Absolutely,
we'll see where he
man.
goes from here. But think about it in the context. When you put somebody in the context of Babe Ruth, and I'm not just talking about breaking a record that's old. I'm talking about the actual playing abilities and what he's doing. That's how far you have to go back to see what Ohtani is doing right now in Major League Baseball. I think it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what it means long term. Is he going to be like this for the next 5 years? Is he going to be like this for just this year? Is he going to be like this just for 2 months? And are we going to see more and more people attempt it? Is the athlete that good today? Are we going to see guys coming out of college that have done the two-way thing now get drafted to be the two-way thing and try to mimic and be like, not Babe Ruth necessarily, but Ohtani?
Do you think he's the best athlete going right now?
Well, and yes, I do. I do think in the athletic context that I put it in. There are people that are faster that run, that jump higher.
We talk about Bo Jackson being the best of all time, though, right? Like, he's nowhere close to Bo Jackson. Or do you put him in the ballpark, pun intended, of the Bo Jackson?
Very good. It's funny. It's a great question, and I'm trying to answer this the right way. If I look at Shohei Ohtani, I don't look at him, although he is a physical specimen, really.
Sure.
But I don't look at him like that. We look at Bo Jackson as like a physical specimen. I look at LeBron James as a specimen, man.
Sure.
I mean, it's just like you don't make
DK
people
Metcalf?
like that, right?
DK Metcalf.
Like, those are like, that's what we think it when we think athlete. But I'm talking, like Bo Jackson's so hard because we projected him, we thought he was, but he never fulfilled it.
But even when he was doing it, it was still.
He was doing two different sports at the same time.
He was an all-star.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously a great running back.
Yeah, and by the way,
Heisman
I think
Trophy winner.
It would be. It's like it almost feels like sacrilegious to say anybody is a better athlete than Bo Jackson.
Correct. Yeah.
In our minds, right?
Yeah.
And what Bo Jackson was doing in two different sports, different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think is more impressive than what Shohei Ohtani was even doing, or Babe Ruth even did.
Yeah.
Okay.
But right now, you're taking Ohtani over everybody else. I'm trying to think. Like, obviously, DK Metcalf gets brought up because he just ran the 100-meter.
Yeah. But still, he's not even the best receiver in the game, man. Like,
True.
I mean, we're talking about a guy who's the best power hitter right now in the game.
But is Ohtani even the best on his team?
A fair question.
Seriously.
But he's performing like he is.
Right now, he is.
Yeah.
But when the season's over.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I think overall people will say like Trout's a better ball player, right? But right now is producing like he is. My point is Metcalf, even he produced, but he didn't produce like he was the best receiver in the game at any time. He's that physical specimen. Take LeBron. Like LeBron to me is just this unbelievable athlete, right? It's just this engine that has never been crafted before, but it's almost incomparable. Like, he plays basketball. It's not like he plays offense and he plays defense. Well, every basketball player does.
Yeah.
Well, LeBron's good at is being a GM and being a basketball player.
For sure.
Or sometimes he's good at it.
Yeah.
It's kind of incomparable what Ohtani is doing. But I do think it begs the question, find me somebody in the athletic realm that's doing anything even close to what this guy is doing right now in a sport. And yeah, baseball offers something different, but I don't think anybody is doing anything like that. He is that different in sports right now on the global level.
What about Kyler Murray?
Yeah, he didn't do it.
But he could have.
He could.
Yeah.
But I have to see it.
Okay, I got you.
And he'd be more like the Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, right?
Sure.
Brian Jordan.
Yeah, but I mean, Kyler Murray's not a big dude. Let's be honest. Like, he's not. His stature isn't.
Yeah, see, and I think
Bo
like
Jackson.
our world. That's what our world goes to is like athlete.
But no, I mean, I would say
I don't even
right
know
now,
if that's the right context to put Shohei Ohtani in. Like, is he the best athlete? Is that the right? Is he the most productive athlete maybe on the planet? Well, that's hands down, right? Isn't he?
Sure.
I mean, nobody's doing
he's
what he does.
contributing a lot.
It's very hard 100 years later to do stuff that's not been done in like 100 years.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing. I mean, think about that for a moment. It's pretty incredible. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Tuesday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Getting started with the Jaguars. They're making moves yesterday, cutting running back Raekwon Armstead, who missed the entire 2020 season because of complications related to COVID-19. And furthermore, in the Jaguars camp, Urban Meyer is commenting on how rookie running back Travis Etienne is learning the new wide receiver position.
Right now, we're focusing on the fundamentals of wide receiver play, learning the offense from wide receiver. And like I said, worst case scenario, you have a running back that's elite with receiver skills. Best case scenario, he's a legitimate dual threat guy.
Over in MLB, Braves pitcher Huskar Ynoa has to feel a little silly as well as some pain because the right-hander punched the dugout bench after a bad outing, and now he's on the disabled list with a fractured hand in the several weeks of action. Listen to the Jumbo Shrimp play Norfolk tonight at 6:20 right here on ESPN 690 or ESPN690.com. The Sports Center update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options and financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way, and we absolutely love it. because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
Hello, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 7, understand attorney's fees. You've probably heard no fee guarantee, or you only pay if you win. This isn't some kind of special offer. Most injury attorneys are paid this way. We get paid this way. There are limits on what percentage attorneys can charge. Our firm charges you nothing, not even costs, unless you get money. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
I'm a call-it-like-I-see-it guy. Sometimes that twists the competition's panties in a bunch. Sometimes it causes pearl clutching. But it always lets you listeners know the truth. Last January, I told you winter was slow and you could get a deal on upgraded systems, because it's true. And here's the truth about summer. Most AC breakdowns happen from stress testing during that first string of scorching hot days in summer, causing every reputable AC company to be booked out at least 2 or more days. Any company not booked solid in summer isn't a company you want in your home. But who wants to sweat it out 2, 3, or more nights waiting for a new AC? At Griffin Service, we've solved the logistics to fix that problem, because we fix what others can't. We call it our Sign Today, Sleep Cool Tonight program. So if you forgot the tune-up in spring and things go to turd buckets in summer, don't sweat it out waiting. Call Griffin for our Sign Today, Sleep Cool Tonight guarantee, exclusively at
GriffinService.com.
CMC 1250697.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
CMG Local Solutions. Visit cmglocalsolutions.com today.
In these unprecedented times, nurses on the front lines continue to deliver treatment and care under some extreme medical and environmental conditions. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. If you are a nurse or other licensed healthcare professional and currently face an investigation or complaint that threatens your professional license, let us help you protect your rights. Call us at 904-600-4000 for a consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Wendy's Frosty Chino is cold brew with frosty creamer. What does that mean? It means we took rich, smooth cold brew and then added your choice of vanilla or chocolate frosty creamer. Can you say good morning? Or better yet, Wendy's Frosty Chino? It's cold brew with frosty creamer. It's only at Wendy's, and it's delicious. So ditch the stuffy coffee shop and say hasta la vista, barista. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Frosty Chino and start your morning right.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Land of Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. If you didn't catch today's episode, I'm not mad at you, not even disappointed, but check out what you missed.
I got lambasted on social media for a small, mild bit of criticism of Gardner Minshew.
Careful, because you've been in that guy's house, so be careful.
I get crushed when I say too many positive things, moral victories, and I criticize the QB a little bit because that's what I saw.
Check out our podcast on all platforms. Just search ESPN 690. Subscribe to our podcast. Thanks.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home or just steering clear of coworkers, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
You know how I feel about it. I mean, I think it's a collaborative effort, and that we work with Carson. But yeah, you stick your neck out for players as a head coach or a GM or a scout or a coach. We all do it. Obviously, as a head coach, sometimes you have a little bit more say in it than maybe a position coach. But that's what you love about it. I mean, you have to. I love sticking my neck out for people I believe in. So yeah, I'm willing to put it on the line for players that you believe in. I believe in this team. I believe in Carson. So yeah, I feel good about it. I do know that his play will reflect, the work that he does. It'll reflect the work our team does. It'll reflect the work that our staff does, all in preparation. So, but I don't mind being the point person on that.
Richt.
Yeah.
Who?
Mark Richt. Or no,
Oh, never mind.
not Frank. Sorry, Frank Richt. Sorry. Got him confused.
Reich.
Frank Richt. Richt. Get another ball in that.
You talking
name,
about?
huh?
Was that the Colts head coach?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden I was thinking it was liked or licked or the Tampa GM.
Oh yeah, whatever that dude's name is.
Reich.
Yes, Reich.
Reich or Reicht?
It's Reich with no T.
Reich.
There's no
Okay.
T.
So it's R. It's like R-I-K-E. Reich.
No. Yeah, that's how you would phonetically. That's how I would put it in the prompter on TV if I didn't know how to say it. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Hey, we were just talking baseball. We don't usually go 2 seconds of baseball, but this is going to give way to something else real quick.
Let's go.
Kevin Pillar, did you see that? Did you see him get hit in the face?
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
So last night gets hit by a 94-mile-an-hour fastball in the face.
Oof. Yeah, I don't want to Google that one.
Walked off, by the way. Baseball players are tough.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple nasal fractures. He's been placed on the injured list, of course.
Now, if this was hockey, he would have played Game 2 of the Stanley Cup.
That's
I
true.
mean, we wish him nothing but the best, but, you know.
But he walked off, and after the game, he even tweeted, which was just amazing that he wasn't hurt more. And I tell you, the guy who's going to have more trouble with this probably than even Pillar is the pitcher. Jacob Webb is the guy that hit him.
Oof, yeah.
And he lost the ball up and in, and it hit him right in the face. And so that's tough as a pitcher, I think, to overcome. But it got me thinking. I mean, seriously, we just talked yesterday about whatever MMA fight we were watching, and it sounded like an arm broke like a stick.
Yeah, I'm watching the video right now of that.
It's a hard thing to watch.
Yeah, I didn't need to watch it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Right in the schnoz, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at first you think that he gets hit in the helmet. And so many of those guys now have the face.
Yeah.
That comes around.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. But
this is the second one this year, though. Bryce Harper got hit.
I don't know. We got hit in the face.
I remember a lot of people, because my family's up there, they were all mad.
There is, I read an interesting article yesterday. I think it was Verducci in Sports Illustrated about how the last 4 years, or maybe it's like 4 out of the last however many years, the highest rate of hit by pitches is the last whatever handful of years in the history of the game. And so the biggest reason why, and he's right on, is because of all the armor that they wear. And so they're not afraid to sit there and get hit.
Sure.
So that's so you wear that elbow pad, and I'm not saying you wear the face thing and you're okay with getting hit in the face. Nobody still wants to get hit in the head.
Heck no.
But you're okay getting hit like in the shin or in the elbow because you got the pad. And also I think in this home run era, guys are throwing it harder than ever before, but they also want that inside of the plate, right? They want to own that inside of the plate. But the danger zone here is the pitch that's getting people out with the spin rate is the elevated fastball. Used to be like, no, don't throw an elevated fastball. That thing might go out of the yard. Well, now you want to throw the elevated fastball above the hands. Well, what happens when you kind of misfire on the elevated fastball? It comes up around the head, neck area, face area.
Yeah.
And so that's why you see a little bit of this. And, I mean, that is about as scary as it gets. It got me thinking, it's like, again, you do MMA. I think, we watch those guys down at Daytona. I don't know what's comparable. I don't want to get any of them. I don't want to get hit going across the middle by Ray Lewis. I don't want to get in the car and flipping around going 200 miles an hour with Daytona. I don't want a 95-mile-an-hour fastball in my face. Yeah. And I don't want you probably breaking my arm on a hold in a cage.
If I was an athlete, I think that the thing I would least want is definitely the fastball to the face, because I just have I don't know. I have a hard time believing that you can just come at that incident, right? And goes to the rehab, comes back whenever he comes back. How the heck are you going to stand up there and take an at-bat again? Not have that and be in the back of your mind.
Yeah. How did Ryan Newman get back in the car?
Yeah. For sure, but I don't know. See, that's driving. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of variables there, but that's driving. He's done that his entire life. Being a batter, you swung your entire life, but at the same time, you're at the control of your pitcher.
Yeah.
If that player right there, he couldn't. There's nothing that guy could do. The pitcher messed up, and you got hit in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think it's tough to do. I think there's a psychology about it. I think it's psychology about it. I think it affects the pitcher just as much in a weird way.
Sure,
I understand,
sure.
physically it doesn't, but from a mental standpoint, I guess if I was the batter, I'd be like, hey, well, that happened to me once. It's hardly happened. People don't get hit in the face a lot in baseball.
Yeah.
What's the chance of it ever happening again?
Yeah.
You're right? Yeah, kind of like that. When you go back in the ocean if you got bit by a shark.
Well, I don't go there to find out because I don't do the ocean, but yeah, I got you. Oh, man.
But yeah, that was a tough watch. And you don't. Here's the thing about baseball: is all those sports I mentioned, racing.
Yeah.
And every time those guys give their wife a kiss before a race, they know, hey man, this is
shaking
serious
hands
stuff,
with the devil,
right?
Yeah.
You go in a cage, you could end up being hurt on the way out.
Yep.
You play football, now listen, you don't think you're dying, but you could have some serious injury. You play the game of baseball and you don't think of that stuff. Like, that's the thing. Like, baseball, you really don't. You might have arm trouble. You might pull a hamstring. You don't play the game of baseball and think, man, I don't know if after this game, if I'm going to be able to see again.
You taking a fastball to the face or a hockey puck off a slap shot to the face? Probably the baseball, right? Because the hockey puck, you got to keep on playing. Like, you're going to come back to the bench and coach is like, so you're still conscious, right? All right, then. Well, get back in line. And
I don't know, but I'm cringing at the idea of both. And after watching, Brian Berard, obviously, he had that too.
I'm not, oh, no, forget the, dude, like, the only way you're coming out of a hockey game in the Stanley Cup is if you get gashed. And that's happened before, too, with the hockey skate. And you get your neck cut.
No, that's.
Yeah, that's okay. Like, they're like, okay, we understand. Go to the locker room.
Please, go to the locker room.
But you can be like Ochara, break your entire jaw, wire it shut. Hey, we'll see you out there for game 2. Excuse me? How do you breathe?
I don't know.
Man.
Football
I don't want to talk about this anymore. How does that sound?
We're not. I'm cringing as we're doing it. I'm going to eat some toast, tomatoes, and pickles.
That's why I'm an MMA fighter. I'm not that crazy playing baseball or hockey.
We'll be back. Football at 5 on ESPN 690.
Boss, you're not going to believe what I found on the internet.
What, the moon is hollow?
No, not that. This. I just did a search and found yard signs for alarm systems for sale.
What? Just the sign? Just, like, without the security system?
Yeah. Look, you can get a big blue alarm sign for about $25. Ooh, delivered tomorrow.
They must not give a flip about their reputation.
Or their real customers.
Right. I bet you can't find a SafeTouch security sign on that thing.
Boss, SafeTouch wouldn't be involved in something like this.
Nope. When you see a SafeTouch sign, you know it's the real McCoy.
Right. The two-way communicator, the guaranteed response time.
Which is exactly why we always stick to the Crooks Are Us golden rule. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Now, let's go find us some fake signs.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
We're all ready for spring. Now's the time to get ready for spring projects with help from the Home Depot. Install a brand new faucet, lay down fresh new flooring, roll on a bright new coat of paint. Need to figure square footage or paint coverage? Our project calculators will do the math. Do it all from our app and get delivery right to your door. Download our mobile app to get started. Bring on spring with innovative help from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks. and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game. And now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
Koala, koala, koala insulation.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Did you know that according to the Department of Energy, heating and cooling account for almost half of the home's energy use and expense? We started our insulation business because we wanted to help people save money on those energy bills and live a healthier life.
Schedule a free evaluation today at koalainsulation.com.
Koala Insulation. Clean, knowledgeable, and trusted.
I'm Christine Lisi. At this hour, the Pacers will be without their second leading scorer for tonight's Eastern Conference play-in matchup versus the Hornets. Karis LeVert's out 10 to 14 days because of COVID-19 protocols. Coverage Charlotte, Indiana in 1 hour on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Then Wizards Celtics cap off our doubleheader. After struggling much of the season, Washington hit its stride late, won 17 of its final 23 games, and the Wizards are the one East play-in team that could make a run this postseason, believes First Take co-host Stephen A. Smith.
I mean, if Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal get on a tear, this is a guard-oriented game. And even though you need contributions from everybody, if you get sensational play from the guard spot by not one, but two guys, that definitely can change things for you for the better.
Beal is playing with a strained hamstring. NFL, the doctor who performed knee surgery on Joe Burrow told ESPN's Adam Schefter the Bengals quarterback's on track for the September 12th season opener. Baseball, Brewers star Christian Yelich returns from back issues tonight against the Royals. He's played in only 10 games this season.
What? Just 15 seconds to talk about Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea? That smooth taste of real brewed iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol? What? We started already? Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Look for it in the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
There's a serious disagreement within the building about the idea of Urban Meyer signing Tim Tebow. There are coaches on that staff who don't want to see it happen. And, you know, there are also, in the same breath, those who are saying, to Booger's point, it's not that big of a deal. Look, he's probably not going to be on the roster week one. To which you would say, well, then why do it at all? I think that Booger makes some really good points there. But it is just also important to remember, beyond the emotional side of this, beyond the wonders of why, is just the reality that it's really not practical. It's not likely to work, and it doesn't necessarily. Urban Meyer, I think, would say, well, hey, I'm going to add anybody to my team who has the potential to better this organization. To which you could look at this and say, well, how is this going to better the organization? There's just really not very much upside at all, to be quite honest.
That is Jeff Darlington on Get Up.
On Friday.
That was on Friday?
Yeah.
What day is today? Tuesday?
Today will be Tuesday. Yep.
That's called Old Sound. I didn't see that floating around much. Yes, that's an alarm. That's what I was really hesitating at. There's an alarm going off outside. I thought at first my phone was ringing.
Is it a Honda?
On silent, and I was like, I'm holding my phone. It's not ringing. But there's somebody in the parking lot. Your alarm is sounding.
Oh, dude, that's my car.
Your car?
Is it really? Yeah. What happened?
Is that on the key?
I don't know.
That was your car. Hey, Austin. Your alarm is sounding.
Who's touching my stuff? I don't know what happened. Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
It's probably a cat with no tail out there.
They are out there.
Oh, no, there's a bunch.
So many animals feeling a little too comfortable in a parking lot.
The geese and the cat needs to chill. The cat tries to jump in my car every time I'm leaving.
Gotta start revving those engines a little harder, I think, everybody. I'm not saying run them over. I'm just saying rev the engines and let them know that you're there.
You're saying take care of them.
Well, yeah, take care of them. I'm saying, be honest, because don't lie to me here. They're a little too comfortable. Like, they're in front of you. They won't move. It's like, oh, cool, you're in a car. Check this out. I'm going to take my time.
I don't know what's worse is the geese, the confidence that the geese have down here in
Ridiculous.
general, or the confidence that seagulls have, like by a Publix.
I don't even call it confidence, dude. I call it entitlement. And I'm not going to stand for it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stand for it. I will treat you like every other wild animal in this state. And if you don't get out of my way, repercussions.
You see the
what's up with all the hey, by the way, the vultures. You see the vultures are
in front here.
Hey, Ben Becker.
We need to send Ben.
You better send Ben on something.
I wanted to send him to Ponte Vedra Beach.
30 vultures.
I wanted to send him to Ponte Vedra Beach to check on the alligator that was on the ocean in the ocean.
So unless a giraffe hopped the fence and is now like around here dead, I don't know, but there's like 30 vultures around.
Listen,
you see those things?
I've seen them.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people in town that would like to send Ben to the vultures.
Yeah, I wish we could. Oh, I didn't mean like that, Ben. I meant actual vultures.
We need to know why the vultures are here.
Yes, Ben. Hey, got a problem? Better send Ben, man. Tell you right now.
Brent Martineau, Austin Lane Coos here on a Tuesday. Football at 5 on an ESPN 690. That was interesting sound from Darlington on the Tebow thing. When we saw that, heard about that, we talked a little Tebow earlier about the locker room stuff, but I have this just one last thing about Tebow for now. We'll see if what's the delay? We don't know. Like, is it going to happen? Does it almost have to happen now, or is this almost harder for Urban Meyer and Trent Baalke to not sign Tebow? They have one roster spot available, almost seemingly because they were going to sign him.
Yeah.
Do they almost? I just wonder if they almost have to at least bring him in and see how it goes, or does it look bad not to? And it's not that they put it out there, but the reports have been out now for weeks that that it might happen, that there's interest. And then last week, it was Ian Rappaport's report that said, hey, it's going to happen in the next week, essentially, most likely after a rookie minicamp one-year deal. So it will come across, and I would think it would be reality, that the Jaguars kind of changed their mind. Urban Meyer changed his mind. Something went on to change the mind. Like, how do you explain that if you don't sign Tim Tebow?
The locker room.
And are you willing to explain it?
No, probably not. Probably not the real reason.
Well, because remember, now Darlington didn't say the locker room. Darlington said more like the staff. There's staff like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, but at the same time, if that's okay. So, first of all, and we just talked about this before, but like the longer you wait, I think the worse that it is, because now you're making it a bigger deal than what it has to be.
I agree with that too. Either get him in here or say it's not going to happen.
Because every day that goes on is another day where it's like, well, they're building this thing up for whatever.
Well, not only that, if he's going to succeed, get him in here.
Well, then that too, from a competitive advantage for sure. I think if you're Tim Tebow, well, if you try it out, you want to play, correct? If you're Urban Meyer, you said, yeah, why not? So you probably want Tim Tebow here if you're Urban Meyer. So then if both guys have a mutual respect, admiration for each other, and they both probably want that guy to play for Jacksonville Jaguars, then what other factor are we not seeing? It's either the factor of the coaches or the factor of that locker room. I think with the coaches, like anytime you bring a guy in for a workout, there's a process, like you talk about it. It's not just like Urban Meyer said, hey, I know Tim Tebow, let me go ahead and go, pull a fast one on these coaches and say, I'm going to work them out myself. Like, that's not what happened. Like, there's channels that you have to go through. So, like, every coach knew that Tim Tebow was going to come in for a workout, at least on the offensive side of the ball. Now, regardless of what some of them feel like, it's Urban Meyer's call at the end of the day. And I think if Urban was to take his word, his trust over a coordinator or position coach, I think Urban Meyer's taking his word all day. But if he was to lose the locker room a little bit, and if the locker room spoke out and said, hey, this isn't really a good idea, we have some issues with this, well, then maybe you get the sense that maybe it's not the best for the team, and then maybe he would try to listen to the locker room a little better. Not to say the locker room is going to come out and say that. I'm just saying if it comes out now, where Tim Tebow doesn't sound the Jacksonville Jaguars, the first thing I'm going to go to is the fact that some guys on that team didn't think it was wise to have him in that locker room.
Yeah, and that's interesting because we had this conversation in one of the commercial breaks earlier, and I said, okay, it's one thing if the coaching staff is a little bit, hey, listen, I don't understand why we're doing this. I don't like the idea of it. Let's work with the guys we got. And what's the reality of it even happening? What are we doing? But I will say this, the last time Urban Meyer talked about it, which was over the weekend, after a rookie minicamp, he did say, he's like, listen, some of the coaches, they tried him out separately and liked them and he kind of hinted that some of the coaches liked him. That doesn't mean everybody on the staff liked the idea of it, but he did hint that, hey, the offensive coaches that we brought out there, they saw some good things. But I ask you this. I don't get the sense this is a roster. This is just me thinking that this is a roster right now that's really willing, or not about willing, but that's going to be too vocal going up and down the hallway about what they like and don't like about what Urban Meyer's doing. I feel like this is so early for them in the feeling out process that even from a veteran point of view, and especially for a young guy point of view, they're kind of like, eyes wide open, taking it all in. What's going on? How are we doing this?
Sure,
but do you think there are a lot of conversations like, again, I keep using Marvin Jones. Sorry, Marvin, as an example, just because he's an older player. He's been around the league a lot. He's seen a lot. But is there a guy like that, or Miles Jack, or you name it, that's going to go into Urban Meyer's office and be like, hey, you know what? We've discussed this kind of quietly, and like, I don't know what you're thinking about with Tebow coming in, but we don't really like the idea of it. Like, do you? I don't sense that would happen at this stage of things with this football team. Now,
yeah, but you also got a locker room last year that was the first locker room in the NFL to organize a protest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's two different things, but like,
they can all be united on that front, or try to unite on that front.
Yeah, for the most part, and they can try to be united on the whole Tim Tebow thing.
Yeah. I
mean, there's going to be some guys that won't agree with it, just like I'm sure.
Listen, you've been in locker rooms. Yeah. I don't know that. First of all, I don't know how often that happens in general.
Well,
I know you have team leaders, right? You have Calais Campbell. Go back a couple of years. You could say, if somebody had a problem with something, they could go to Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell had the respect and admiration of the coaching staff that he could go to Doug Marrone and be like, listen, I don't know where you guys fall on this, but here's what we're thinking inside the locker room, if you care or don't care. I just don't know if there's that exists right now with a new coach in Urban Meyer while everybody's trying to figure out, okay, what's this guy all about?
Sure, and I get it's the whole new coach of the Urban Meyer thing as well. But I know when it would have been Mike Mularkey's first year, right? 2012?
Yeah, it would have been his only year.
Yeah, his only year, yeah. So I remember with the whole Tebow thing then, when it was like, was that 2012?
Yeah, 12.
Yeah. Should they bring in Tebow? I know a lot of guys in the locker room didn't want Tim Tebow. A lot of guys on the offensive side of the ball saying it's just going to be a distraction. Now, once again, this is Tebow from the quarterback position.
Yeah.
It's different now, but I don't have a good authority to say did they go to Mike Mularkey and tell him that, but I know there was a lot of outspoken guys on that locker and on that team in that locker room that didn't want Tebow there as a quarterback.
Yeah, the cold tub, the walks out to practice, the dinners, the stuff, meetings. There's like, hey, we don't need this stuff, right? I mean, there were some people, not everybody, but some people that said that. The question is, did those folks ever go to first-year head coach Mike Mularkey and say, hey, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but we'd rather you not think about it?
Or did Mike Mularkey just have the wherewithal to say, okay, I can tell that these guys don't.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, and by the way, that was a unique situation in itself because, quite frankly, I think that was a lot Shad Khan driven.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, we'll entertain it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's going to help us win, or we think it can, even the slightest chance, let's entertain it. Gene Smith and Mike Mularkey didn't like it as much. They created somewhat of an opportunity, but not one that Tebow chose. So, I just feel like this is me thinking, and I just know this from the business world. The football world can be a little bit different, but if there's a new GM that comes into the building and I don't really like something that's going on, I'm not sure in my first couple of weeks I'm walking up there and saying,
for sure.
Hey, I don't like the idea that you're doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, how many in our business world do that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have real strong footing to be able to do that. And that's why I bring up like a Calais or a veteran guy that could have the respect to do something like that if that's where it's coming from. I don't feel like this is more locker room driven from what Darlington said. I think what he basically said might be true. It might be more discourse or a little conflict on what's the right thing to do amongst the coaching staff.
Well, okay, but then let me ask you this. A guy like Chris Doyle, right? Urban Meyer brings in Chris Doyle. What happens.
Now, that, I believe, got some pushback.
From the locker room?
Yes.
Yeah. But they spoke out.
Yes.
So that's what I'm getting at, though, is there was tons of media scrutiny.
But that was also a temperature check.
But hold on, though.
I think.
But there was tons of media scrutiny for Chris Doyle, correct?
Yes.
Everyone's talking about it.
Yes.
Horrible optics.
Yeah.
But what do you think Urban Meyer cares about? The guys in the locker room or the media?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Sure. So if one of those guys or a couple of those guys in the locker room came out and said, we don't want Chris Doyle here, you think Urban Meyer would probably honor those wishes. Now, does Urban Meyer care about the media and the Tim Tebow situation? Absolutely not, because Urban Meyer coached Tim Tebow. So he knows exactly who Tim Tebow is and what he can bring to his locker room. But if a couple players come out and said, hey, we're not really sure about this whole Tim Tebow thing, well, then you get the sense that maybe Urban Meyer would listen to them and say, well, I don't want it to be a distraction. Maybe it's not a good idea.
Yeah, and I think it's important to keep the context is totally different. I would think the temperature of that we don't really want was totally different too.
No,
right.
The only point I'm trying to make is that
the locker room was speaking.
Yes,
there,
if Tim Tebow doesn't come to the Jacksonville Jaguars, in my opinion, it's because the locker room said something.
Yeah.
I don't think that the media scrutiny really matters to Urban Meyer, as it shouldn't matter to Urban Meyer.
No, the only thing I disagree with on, I said if he doesn't come, I don't think it's the locker room. I think it's more the coaches decided and said, you know what, it gave a little pushback or feedback even to Urban on it, or even Bevel on it. I think it's less player-driven. I really do.
I just think if it's coach-driven, then why not come out with it right away? Like,
well, because they might still be wrestling with it.
I guess, man.
I mean, Urban basically said they're going to have a decision on it by Sunday night, and we still don't have anything. Yeah. So is that where the pushback is coming?
Do you get the sense, though, like if you just said the players, it's a brand new. If you're a coach, a position coach, or a coordinator, and you just got hired by Urban Meyer, are you really going to say that's not a good idea?
Well, I think you have more standing as a coach to say something, it feels like to me, than you would if you were a player. I think
even a veteran player?
What if Charlie Strong's like, hey, Herb, this might not be a good idea, man. Right? Now, Darrell Bevel, he might be like, hey, I can do this with him. I can do this. We have a vision for this. Brian Schottenheimer those might be the guys. Tight end coach might be like, this isn't going to go well. You know, but Charlie Strong, who's his right-hand man, might say, listen, I'm reading the room on this, and I'm also, he might be that voice of reason that Urban's willing to listen to on that front. Again, I have no idea, but I think it would come more like from that end. I don't know. I just don't see, are the players going to react to every move that's made in the organization over the whole Urban Meyer era? I mean, hey, we pick up a fifth wide receiver. We're really comfortable with the receivers we have. We don't think you need to pick up another wide receiver.
But the difference between a fifth wide receiver and Tim Tebow.
Well, I do.
There's a reason why Tim
but there's
Tebow
also
is
a big
national
difference between Doyle and Tebow. It's not even close to the same level. That's my point.
But they're both national stories.
Yeah, but they're not even close to the same level.
But we're both still talking about.
We are talking about, but it's not even close.
We've talked more about Tim Tebow than we have about Chris Doyle.
I don't think that's true.
We haven't talked more about on this show.
Well, we have because it's a 6-week story. That story was a week long.
You don't think the national media has talked more about Tim Tebow?
No, I think way more shows talked about Doyle at
Chris
the time.
Doyle?
Yeah. I think they took way more heat.
I feel like Chris Doyle was a topic for like 2 or 3 days.
That's because they acted quickly, though. That's my point. Now, I think it was across the heat that they took on the Doyle topic was obviously, there's people that say no problem with the Tebow thing. There's people that say this is a stupid idea about the Tebow thing.
No, of course. The Chris Doyle thing overall, the synopsis was a bad choice.
Yeah.
I get it.
The temperature was totally different.
But we're still talking. I mean, since the NFL draft, we're still talking about Tim Tebow on pretty much a daily basis.
But that's just because they haven't made a decision, kind of to our earlier point.
Sure.
You're going to keep the topic going until you make a decision.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the engine of the NFL as well. I mean, we might be talking about Travis Etienne as a wide receiver for the next 6 weeks, but they're not going to go tell us all of a sudden, hey, he's going to practice at running back today because of it.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
I understand what you're saying. Tebow obviously is a bigger animal when it comes to that. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. One, we'll see if he ever gets signed, which I do think they do. It's probably in their best interest to make a decision sooner than later. We agree on that front. But maybe it does come out eventually that the locker room helped decide this thing. The coaching staff helped decide this thing. Shad Khan helped decide this thing. Urban Meyer just made a decision. Who knows whether it works or not.
Do you think when Jihad Ward put that tweet out that had a little bit of influence, do you get the sense there's influence there or not? Or do you think you're just doing it out of good fun to catch that Tebow wave and get some retweets?
Yeah, I didn't. I sensed it was more like, I'm going to have fun with this one. I didn't sense a lot of, I'm already tired of this thing. I hope this thing doesn't happen behind it. Although maybe it is. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
We'll see. Again, whether it happens or not, people will say something about it. I didn't like the idea of that, or you can't do that, or whatever. Because if you feel strong enough to go to the coach about it potentially, or tweet stuff about it, then you feel strong enough to say something in front of a microphone about it.
For sure.
Eventually, whenever it does shake out. We have Steven on the line, or, yes, we do. Thumbs up from Coos. eating his
The old thumbs
toast,
up.
tomato, and pickles.
How's that tomato and pickle sandwich there, Kuz?
Amazing.
Kuz, why didn't you make us one is the question.
I only
because he knows
brought
better.
3 slices of tomato.
Oh, so that was it. It was just for you.
A little
Yeah, I
selfish,
ate
though, huh?
3 slices of tomato, Kuz. That's like 1 for you, 1 for me, 1 for Austin.
Good point. How big a slice
But that
is?
didn't turn into all 3 for me.
Dude, I mean,
It was-
Brent, I'm not going to lie. I don't feel bad about not having a pickle and tomato sandwich.
It was a sandwich.
It is.
I don't either, but it's principle, man.
Brent, I hear you. I hear you.
I mean, this was a team effort. We were all supposed to try the toaster out
I know. I was kind of excited to try that
before
toast.
Nicole.
Yeah.
Well, there's still toast. I have a bunch of toast we can do.
Are you keeping it in the lunchroom?
Well, I'm going to have to bring it home tonight.
Eventually.
If you had toast right now, what would you like to put on it?
Oof.
Is it just like some butter? Is it peanut butter?
No.
Is it Nutella?
I'm more, no, get Nutella.
I've
out
never
of
had
here.
that
You never had
Nutella.
Nutella?
No.
I mean, it's whatever.
My kids love it, but
I'd probably go butter. I was a big butter toast kid yeah.
I was
growing
too.
up.
You
Yeah,
know, my
I love butter
sister
toast.
did put a lot like that cinnamon and sugar on the toast.
I've had that before
And so
as
it was
well.
pretty good.
Yeah, not
I
bad.
mean, it sounded like too
Sweet
much
tooth.
work for me, but at the same time, it was very good. You got to get the
It's good.
You know, they had the cinnamon and sugar that in the same shaker. You know?
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah,
put it
yeah,
in the
for
same
sure.
bottle.
For sure.
Eventually. I don't know
Yep.
when that happened.
Yep.
So you didn't have to mix it.
Real quick, how do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Because this was a giant debate that we had on a different show one time.
Really?
Yes.
Well, first of all, your best bet is to get an Uncrustable.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the right person to ask because you're a peanut butter and jelly expert.
Absolutely.
Uncrustables
See,
all
what
day.
what I've been told is take the Uncrustable and put it in the air fryer, and that's what I'm excited
That
to
sounds
try.
good.
The Uncrustable in an air fryer?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I have some in the
I
freezer
can't
at
help
home,
but
and
There
I'm
you go.
going to do that tonight.
If we can stay on track for 1 second.
No,
though.
hold
sorry,
on.
sorry.
How long do I have to put it in
Jeez.
for?
I don't know. You might have to Google that.
Forget it.
Wow.
I'm done with it.
By the way, this is a simple question. You put the peanut butter on first. Simple answer. I'm saying.
Yeah, and then what? It's more, how do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And by the way, we had 15 callers on this.
Really?
Yes.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You put on one side peanut butter.
Yes.
And then on that side.
On the same side?
Same side.
Let's
put
go.
jelly.
Yes. That's how you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yes. Yes.
What else is that? What else?
See, I do peanut butter on one
Tell 'em,
slice.
Kuz. Tell
I do
the
jelly on
entitled
the
way
other
that you do
slice,
it.
and then you combine it.
Say it again.
You do peanut butter on one slice, jelly on the other slice, and then you put the slices together.
No, you do not. You put the peanut butter down, then you take the jelly, and you put the jelly on top
No,
of that
'cause that
peanut
gets-
butter, and then you squash the
No,
sandwich
because that
together.
gets peanut butter.
Thanks.
No, that gets
Thanks.
no.
Now, first
See?
of all, by the way,
Tell-
it's very
tell
hard.
them the reason. Wait,
It
tell them
gets
the
the
reason.
peanut butter in the jar of jelly.
Right.
So what?
Right.
Who cares about the
Hey,
next person?
Well, I do because
people-
I'm going to be the next person.
People were calling in and saying you don't mix the peanut butter and jelly together because it tastes different. And I almost lost it.
They say it tastes different.
It does taste different.
See,
you are mentally weak. if you think that tastes different.
If you're complaining about your peanut butter and jelly getting swirled and mixed together, I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Yeah, you
And
don't,
by
you
the
don't
way,
swirl
the
it.
jelly is sometimes hard to spread anyway, and so when you have it on a fresh piece of bread, it'll carve the bread
I
up.
said the exact same
So you need
So,
that
okay,
layer of
It's
peanut
like,
first of all-
butter.
It's like Prince living vicariously through
First
me
of all,
on the morning show.
I don't. Now that I have a toaster, I'm never eating anything on bread ever again. It's always going to be toast, so it'll be fine.
That's true. That will help.
Where were you a week ago when I needed you?
Yeah.
Because, no, seriously, like I was like treated like an outcast of society. They're like, you're an animal. You can't put that's gross. Like what?
Yeah, it's gross.
I didn't know that was a
See?
thing.
It's definitely a thing.
thought that
and
was
it's a heated
routine.
debate. I thought it was pretty calm. I'm not gonna lie.
Steven, let's get him in real quick. Action Sports Jax on ESPN
Ask him
690.
the hard hitting one. Steven, how do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Wow, you trailed off so much you forgot about me. Well, for me, I'm more of an extra jelly person, so I go by Kuz, and sometimes I do it your way, depending on how fast I want to make the sandwich.
All right, well, let's go ahead and
But
pick one and stay in a lane. But
I'm normally a PB extra J kind of guy. So.
Oh, man. I just feel like I asked my wife, where do you want to go to dinner tonight? That's what I just
No,
feel
no,
like
no,
I
no.
asked.
I get what he's saying, but I'm the opposite. I'm like put as much peanut butter on as you can and a little bit of jelly
on two separate slices of bread.
on two separate slices. Yes.
Brent, man, you know what? Last of a dying breed over here, Brent.
I know. It's
last of a
unbelievable.
dying breed,
Well,
man.
what you got today, Steven?
Basically, I wanted to give my opinion on what you guys were talking about earlier with the draft pick from last year, since Josiah Scott got traded, which I'm not going to lose sleep over because he got burnt a lot half the time when he was out there. But, I mean, with my opinion with CJ, to me it seemed like he took plays off where he didn't have a lot of interest. Mind you, he could have just not bought into the system last year with the coaches and everything. But Chason, I think he's gonna eat this year, being in a situation where he's playing the position he's played his whole career except for last year. So I think he's gonna hit this year. Devon Hamilton, I think he's gonna be a playmaker in his own right. Laviska, I still think they're gonna keep him as your third receiver. And I think they're just going to do the whole motioning out with Travis Etienne instead of putting him in the slot position traditionally. So I think they're going to have Laviska Shenault still be your wide receiver 3. And but, I mean, a lot of the picks, they didn't hit, in my opinion, besides maybe Colin Johnson in the last one. I truly believe he's going to be one of Lawrence's favorite targets in the red zone. But, I mean, I do agree. A lot of the picks in 2019 and 2020, in 2020, weren't that really good besides maybe like 5 of them.
All right, Steven.
So then, peanut butter and jelly on the same side of bread or not?
Yes.
If you had to pick one.
I would probably mix them together.
All right. My man.
Thanks, Steven. Appreciate the call, man. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Someone's chiming in already. Absolutely not. You definitely put peanut butter on one slice and jelly on the other side. Why spread an item on another spreadable item instead of its foundation?
Steven, I don't know if you actually had a question there, but I think it was more of a comment.
Sorry, it's Coast.
And so I think we'll go back to that draft class and saying there's some projectable good players, but they need more, and they need to be better than they were in their rookie seasons. How about that? We just leave it at that. You're getting calls all over the place about peanut butter and jelly now. Why didn't we just start the show with this?
Well, because, I mean, you're kind of copying what I did.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's a different audience, isn't it? We should just do it in the morning and afternoon.
I was going to say,
I told you
everything
this.
that we talk about over there, I'll just bring over here.
I said this all the time to I say this to Kuz. I said this to Kuz all the time.
Yeah.
When Kuz is going on WAPE.
Yeah.
Like, Kuz, just tell us what you're going to talk about. We'll tease it. We'll send people over there.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're all a big family here.
You're not wrong.
So if you got a big topic, you can talk about it all morning.
Yeah. I like
Believe
it,
me,
man.
I've talked to the people that are listening on those people aren't listening to our show in the afternoon anyway.
No,
Trust
they
me.
are not. Why? Because they're. I mean, yeah. We've never had one female call the show besides our moms on Mother's Day that one time. So yeah,
Aaron won the 311 tickets
today, right?
Today.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we have plenty.
All right. I mean, hey, we welcome all. I'm just saying.
But it is usually a different audience.
Yeah, for sure. Generally.
Usually.
We have
some crossovers.
We have some crossovers.
They didn't.
Listen, if you listen to me for 6 hours a day,
that's your problem.
I'm going to be honest with you. And I would appreciate it, but let's be honest.
Kuz, I can get to the phone calls, or they're going to have to wait a minute because we have to go to break.
One phone call?
You have 2, yes.
Well, keep in mind, I have to go pretty soon, so can we get these phone calls in?
All right, real quick. Kuz, then you're going to have to shuffle commercials. You just made your own bed right there. Let's get Submarine Mike on real quick.
I told you I was going to leave. I told you.
Peanut butter and jelly is my guess, or are you talking about the Iceman big home game tonight?
Or both?
Big home game. It's a must-win against the Orlando Solar Bears. It's one of the teams we have to beat to get one of the final 2 playoff spots. But the wife would like to discuss how Justin is messed up about making peanut butter and jelly.
He is so wrong. So wrong. Austin, you are 100% correct.
Brad, give me another pound.
I like a little bit more jelly.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. This is savage. It just gets all in the
It's crazy.
jar.
On that other show, how I have to dumb it down for that audience, and I don't even care. I don't even care what the audience, like the numbers.
No
I don't care.
surprise, Kuz is on the other station.
Yeah, exactly. But then we come over here a little more educational, right? A little more mature,
Smart.
and we can have a great conversation about PB&Js.
Who
Somebody might just made my day.
might as well be throwing it all on the wall and coming back tomorrow to grab it.
Over exaggerating it to the fullest, though. Not even close.
Just mixing it.
Hey,
like,
man,
what is this?
You're eating pickle and tomato sandwiches.
Submarine Mike and Miss
matter.
Submarine Mike, appreciate the call, and good luck to the Iceman tonight. Home today, home tomorrow. Huge matchup. Have a good one. South Beach Gary, I think, on peanut butter and jelly. How do they make it down in South Beach?
Hey, guys, 3 points quick. Austin, I'm 100% with you. You put the peanut butter down in the jelly.
What is
That's
happening?
a walk-off, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over. What else you got for us?
And number 2, I'd like to get y'all's PGA Championship pick. I'm going to go with the X-Man, Xander Schauffele. And, guys, I was reading today about how the odds for offensive and rookie defensive player of the year, and the Dolphins have the top 2 in the top 10 with Waddle and Phillips. I was wondering, has any team ever had the offensive and defensive rookies of the year the same year on one team?
That's a good question. By the way, thanks, South Beach Gary. We'll get your good job on the PBJ.
Yeah.
We'll get your PGA Championship winners tomorrow because we don't do that on Tuesday. It's still a practice round today.
Yep.
And I have no idea. The Brent Sports Bureau will have to go to work on your trivia question.
I think on next week, let's get a pick apart your PB&J segment where you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, send me the video, and we say if it's good or not. I'm just kidding.
Like a shock your video.
By the way,
yeah, something like that.
your idea that will now you'll definitely be doing that on the other station.
I'll probably do it
next
tomorrow.
week. Yeah,
I'm probably get an email about it right now, actually, because they're actually listening. Yeah.
You think right now the bosses over in the other place, if they are listening, which they aren't,
they're not.
Would be mad that we're talking about this.
No, because
this is a stolen topic.
No, because this is my idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is my idea.
Your ownership.
Yeah, it's my ownership.
You got the little
And that's
TM
why he
next
has
to
the
it.
corner
Trademark
office.
You better believe it.
That's why he has the office
That's why I get the corner office, bro.
That is true.
You better believe it.
One of these days, I'll get the office.
Yeah. Well,
maybe we got to make the bosses start listening. We'll be back. Action Sport. By the way, South Beach Gary, your Miami guys aren't winning offensive and defensive rookie of the year. I'll bet you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on that.
There it is. Say no more.
And I'm going to put an Uncrustable in the air fryer tonight.
That does sound legit.
That's really
how
good.
Have you never thought about that before?
I know.
You're doing yourself a disservice.
Well, you got to worry about heating up the jelly a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Not
the problem
peanut
is,
butter, but the jelly.
the one that I saw, they actually used they put 2 pieces of bread together, made a regular peanut butter and jelly, and then they used like a jar to make it an Uncrustable essentially, and then they put that in the air fryer. Ooh. So it was a little bit bigger.
I'm going to go research this. You get out of here. You got to go pick up Ronan. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Fair to partly cloudy tonight, dropping into the low to mid-60s, and partly sunny and warm for Wednesday with an isolated brief shower. From the CBS 47 at Fox 30 Action News, Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com. Need a good paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make 6 figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com.
Vacations are coming back, so before you hit the road, get your vehicle checked out by the pros at Honda of the Avenues. Honda of the Avenues Service Department continues to get 5 stars for their certified technicians using certified parts. The new Express Service Center is now open, so stop by if you need an oil change, tires, battery, wiper blades, or if you need any repairs to your vehicle. Awarded the 2021 Dealer Rater Consumer Satisfaction Award. Honda of the Avenues. Easy to find on Phillips Highway south of 295 or at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
Here in the Sunshine State, more than 3 million men are over age 45, and over half suffer from ED or PE. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Brown. If you're having problems in the bedroom and pills like Viagra have let you down, you'll see results at Prime Men's Medical Center, guaranteed, or your exam is free. And it's affordable.
Call 904-664-8217. Guaranteed results on your first visit or your exam is free. Call 904-664-8217.
All right, boss, that's the last house on the block.
So what's the tally?
Let's see, 11 houses have Safe Touch security signs.
Okay, Safe Touch means we cross them off our list. What else?
6 houses with no security system signs, 1 with a ding-dong doorbell camera sign.
Ha, laughable.
Yeah, and 4 houses have big blue alarm signs.
Big blue alarm. You know, I still can't get over the fact that you can go online and buy one of their alarm signs for $25.
Wait, so you're saying there's a good chance that those big blue signs we saw are fake?
Well, not all of them. I'm sure some of them have actual alarm systems.
Huh. Well, one thing's for sure. When we see a Safe Touch sign, we know it's the real deal.
And that's just another reason we stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Is that on a bumper sticker yet?
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
A car wash with spacious lounges and Wi-Fi, Starbucks coffee as well. Prime Car Wash has all of that while your car or truck gets cleaned. For moms and dads, there are even child-friendly lounges. Full-service interior and exterior wash while you wait. Prime Car Wash is convenient for you. It was for me. I went to the Beach Boulevard location, and there's one on San Jose as well. Give it a try. You can even get a membership. Let Prime Car Wash take care of your vehicle while you take care of your family, or even do a little work. Prime Car Wash, clean inside, clean outside. No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com. It is the home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jackson, ESPN 690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau. Some NBA play-by-play here this week as well, right here on ESPN 690.
Austin Lane.
Hey, you all right?
Yeah, I know. You looked over like, are you going to make it?
Yeah, man. I'm making sure we're all good here.
Hey, listen, I get choked up about the new lineup.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
If the Lakers somehow don't make the playoffs, there will be renewed calls. There were already preemptive calls from people in the media that I saw saying, well, if the Lakers miss the playoffs, some heads might fall for this. I completely disagree. If you are so weakly committed to an idea that in year one, the wrong team misses the playoffs and you're like, you know what, we can't do it, then you never cared about the idea to begin with. It reminds me of firing a coach if you miss the playoffs, but you miss by one game on like a buzzer beater or something. All of a sudden that coach is not the coach for you. The NBA is committed to the idea. If the Lakers flame out, they should still be committed to the idea. They should not cave.
NBA playoffs start tonight. Big one tomorrow. That's the one everybody will be looking forward to, the Warriors and the Lakers. We'll see what happens, of course. I don't think there's much pressure on the Lakers after LeBron and company won the NBA title a year ago. We'll talk more about those playoffs as it continues. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane had to run here toward the end of the show. Coos on a Tuesday as well. Never knew we would get so animated over a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But between that and the toaster today, a lot of food talk. Hope you're hungry. Maybe you caught some fish recently, and that's for dinner. Florida Sportsman Fishing Report right now with Rick Riles. That was my best segue I could get to you, Rick. Hope you're doing well.
That was very strong, and there may be triggerfish on the grill crusted with a crab cake tonight at the Riles house.
Ooh,
I'm just
baby.
saying. And if you want to swing by later, Brent, we could probably find an extra piece.
I love it.
I tell you what. And I've been talking about how windy it is and how rough it's been, and that's true, but seems like there's always boats big enough to make it. Now, Robert Johnson Jr. yesterday running the Jody Lynn 2, now she's a 57-foot Paul Man, that's a big sport fish boat, said that it was manageable for them. They had a dozen mahi, which would ordinarily be considered a pretty good day, but the interesting part was they were from 20 to 60 pounds. We haven't had a 60-pound mahi caught around here in many years, and I'm very proud of Robert for finding them. In fact, they were back inshore in about 140 feet of water, which really, really surprises me. So offshore fishing yesterday for the only boat that could get there was actually very good. Nobody went today, and nobody's certainly going tomorrow. They're calling for 25 knots of wind tomorrow. That may make it even rough on the inshore guys. Now, the inshore guys have been feasting on redfish and flounder. Flounder are well ahead of schedule with their spring run, and there's starting to be some very solid fish with them. So we got 2 or 3 more days of wind, Brent, and then it starts laying down. Next week, we're not even going to recognize the weather. It's going to be warmer than this week, and the wind is going to be calm starting on Monday.
Rick, take me into your world for a moment. If you can't go way out there these few days, obviously the wind has been too much. What are the folks that you know doing? Cleaning the boat? Just putting their feet up, playing some golf?
Smart, yeah, if they're smart, they're making leaders and rigging tackle and getting ready for some heavy-duty action, which is right around the corner. It's not unusual when we're trolling, Brent, to go through 50 liters a day. So you may well be stacking them up. There's nothing makes me madder than to look down in the cockpit of my boat and seeing a mate that's rigging a leader while we're fishing. All that stuff should be done while the wind's blowing. And if the guys are smart, they're making their kingfish leaders now because we're in the beginning of kingfish season and the tournaments start in just a few weeks.
Makes a lot of sense, Rick. Appreciate it, man. Hope you have a good night, and I hope that fish tastes good.
Thanks, Brent. I'm sure it will.
All right. That's Rick Riles, Florida Sportsman Fishing Report every day here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. And don't forget, check out the show, 7 a.m. on Saturday mornings until 9 a.m. on ESPN 690. And Coos runs the board for that show. It's a fun show to listen to. A lot of fish tales, as you would imagine, on a Saturday morning.
It's fun because, I'm not necessarily the biggest fisherman. I actually have trouble even just touching the fish. So but
yes, that would make you not a very big fisherman.
But listening, I feel like I learn a lot. And then my dad my dad loves fishing. So he has a really fun time trying to interpret what they said from my point of view.
That's good stuff. Hey, did you see the schedule out for college football in Labor Day weekend? It's unbelievable. What a great set of games. I'll run them down for you. How about Alabama against the U? How about Georgia against Clemson? How about Notre Dame against Florida State? Of course, you'll listen to that one right here on ESPN 690. ESPN 690, your home for Florida State football and basketball. And right off the rip, a Sunday game at 7:30 at night against the Fighting Irish. And you have Louisville and Ole Miss on Monday. So a couple games Saturday, 3:30 and 7:30, Alabama and the U, Georgia and Clemson, Notre Dame and Florida State on Sunday evening, and then Louisville and Ole Miss on a Monday nighter at 8 o'clock before the NFL season gets going. That is a good slate of games. That's pretty cool. So that came out today And now everybody can start looking forward and putting the calendars together for the fall and what they're going to do. I'll tell you an interesting story. You know, the schedules come out last week, and we all do this in our world. We're really kind of tied to that schedule, and when are you going to London, and how does that impact the Florida-Georgia game here in Jacksonville, and what about the holidays? That's obviously a big schedule. Where are you? I mean, we've been in San Francisco on Christmas Eve. That's a tough one, because you're not getting back to like 4 a.m. on Christmas Day. So just how it impacts your life, really, from a selfish standpoint. But we've tried to take the kids, or I've tried to take kids, and Steph have come to one road trip each of the last few years, with the exception of last year, of course. And so, like, we did Notre Dame, Indianapolis double a couple years back, which was awesome. We've been over Thanksgiving weekend. They came out to Arizona, went to a Cardinals game, and then we stayed like an extra day or two and did a couple things in Arizona over Thanksgiving. And so I was asking Ty the other day, it's like, hey, there's some good games to pick from. So you're probably going to run into school troubles if you try to go Seattle or L.A. Might not have enough time to do any of those. So what other games would you want? You got Cincinnati, prime time, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence. And he was maybe leaning that way because he's a Gator fan too. So Kentucky's playing Florida on that Saturday. So you go Thursday, and then you can get down and watch Kentucky and Florida play on Saturday, see a little different venue. And that's what it's all about. Seeing these SEC and ACC venues, I think, is kind of cool. So that's kind of where our minds are at. And I'm sure that's where fans' minds are at right now. Like, what trip are you going to go on? And of course, my kids, it's funny, I don't really talk about this with my kids too much, but they love to see snow. And still, like, even at this age, not when they were younger too, but they obviously don't get to see it a lot. And so Ty was like, hey, New England around New Year's Day, we can go see, obviously, our family. But he was more, I think, excited about the snow possibilities. And New York City, day after Christmas, possibilities for snow. So I think Steph and I have misfired a little bit on how much the kids really want to see snow.
Right.
And probably should take them to do that. Although we did try to do that in like Asheville a couple years ago, and it was too warm. There was nothing real. We had the fake snow that we're snow tubing on.
Yeah, and it's just essentially ice because it keeps melting.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I think that's what people do. And with the college schedules coming out and what games match up, I mean, it's a fun thing to kind of couple with the Jags game. And there are so many good matchups this year with the Jags. And again, Trevor Lawrence, a big reason why, that there are a lot of – it's not an easy game to pick on the schedule. I can make a case, obviously, personally for New England, but New York around the holidays. And I'd love – if I'm a fan, I want to see Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence. Like, that's a good game. You know what? Cincinnati – I don't need to go to Cincinnati, really. I've been there enough, and I'm sure a lot of people, it's not a destination place. But to see Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence in prime time, not bad. So there are a lot of good ones to pick from. Of course, then you have your London, your Seattle, your LA kind of trips, right?
That's the one we're targeting. Nicole and
Which one?
London.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Nicole's family, they're all Dolphins fans.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, this could work out perfect for us.
Yeah, that'd be good to go. London's a cool trip, and a lot of fans do like to go. I mean, I know some fans don't like me to say that, but people like to go check it out, and it's cool to see a football game along the way. And now, obviously, the way things are opened up, that might be more of an opportunity for people. All right, we'll take a break. We come back, wrap up a Tuesday edition of Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Tuesday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Getting started with the Jaguars. They're making moves yesterday, cutting running back Raekwon Armstead, who missed the entire 2020 season because of complications related to COVID-19. And furthermore, in the Jaguars camp, Urban Meyer is commenting on how rookie running back Travis Etienne is learning the new wide receiver position.
Right now, we're focusing on the fundamentals of wide receiver play, learning the offense from wide receiver. And like I said, worst case scenario, you have a running back that's elite with receiver skills. Best case scenario, he's a legitimate dual threat guy.
Over in MLB, Braves pitcher Huskar Ynoa has to feel a little silly as well as some pain because the right-hander punched the dugout bench after a bad outing, and now he's on the disabled list with a fractured hand in the several weeks of action. Listen to the Jumbo Shrimp play Norfolk tonight at 6:20 right here on ESPN 690 or ESPN690.com. The Sports Center update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
With 24/7 customer service and guaranteed repairs, your Progressive policy works the way it's supposed to. Unlike this stressful meditation guide.
Take a deep breath. Focus on all the things you have to do. Did someone make the vet appointment yet? You don't know? that feels like something you should know.
Switch to Progressive today.
You are a mess.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Repairs through Progressive Network shops guaranteed for as long as you own or lease your car.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com today. That's BABBEL.com.
Need a good paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make six figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com. A car wash with spacious lounges and Wi-Fi, Starbucks coffee as well. Prime Car Wash has all of that while your car or truck gets cleaned. For moms and dads, there are even child-friendly lounges. Full-service interior and exterior wash while you wait. Prime Car Wash is convenient for you. It was for me. I went to the Beach Boulevard location, and there's one on San Jose as well. Give it a try. You can even get a membership. Let Prime Car Wash take care of your vehicle while you take care of your family, or even do a little work. Prime Car Wash, clean inside, clean outside.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 11. Truck accidents require special attention. Sometimes trucking companies put their drivers in a difficult position, and accidents happen. Driving without sleep can be as dangerous as drunk driving. Loads can be too heavy. Evidence needs to be preserved for inspection without delay. Some trucking companies hide insurance, but we know how to find it. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
CMG Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit CMGLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. That's CMGLocalSolutions.com or call 904-245-8878.
For the ones standing guard. For the eagle-eyed. For the knights in shining armor. And for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? Being a member of the Air Force Reserve. It's doing a job that makes a difference, serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve. To find out about local job opportunities with the Air Force Reserve at Homestead Air Reserve Base or Patrick Air Force Base, call 800-257-1212 or go to afreserve.com. This message is sponsored by the Air Force Reserve, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690. Hey, got an update from the Final Four for the University Christian softball team, up 4-0. That was kind of in the middle innings, so looking good to potentially advance to the state championship game. Now, a lot of game to be played, so we will see what happens with UC. And I mentioned already St. John's Country Day on the road to play in baseball. Episcopal left for Claremont as well in softball. Fleming Island goes a little bit later in the week in baseball. and Ridgeview in softball in the Final Four. So handful of teams with a chance to win the whole thing. Good luck to all the teams that are participating. Jacksonville Icemen home tonight and continues to be a huge stretch. They are really playing. If they can make the playoffs and then make some noise, it's going to be a heck of a story because they were way back in the standings and have made a heck of a push. But these games are critical. They play tonight and tomorrow at home. So if you want to check out a game, looking for something to do, those games are winding down as well. The opportunities to see the Icemen play. They're playing really good hockey right now. So check it out down there at the arena tonight and tomorrow. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp still on the road. They continue to make a lot of roster moves and get some guys back from the bigs, recalled or some rehab assignments as well. Just typical stuff in the minors. But they play tonight, and you can listen to that game right here on ESPN 690. Most games all season long right here on ESPN 690. And they've been a fun listen and a fun watch so far this year, have the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. So that's coming up in just a little bit, so make sure you tune in the Jumbo Shrimp game. Looking for something to do tonight. We will be out at the Porsche dealership tomorrow afternoon. Wonder if we get to take some cars for some spins. I'd have to negotiate that. But we'll hit the road tomorrow on remote. Come on out to there, say hello. 3 to 6. We'll be back at it on ESPN 690. NBA play-in games go tonight. I'll see you on TV, CBS 47 and Fox 30 for Coos. And Austin Lane, I'm Brent Martineau. The toast is good, Coos. Bring it home to Nicole.
Quarterback worthy.
Yes, very good. And by the way, peanut butter and jelly. Put the peanut butter and the jelly on the same side of the bread. Don't do what Coos does. Do what Austin and I do. Have a good night.
Where else can you get luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Colhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Colhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka.